flame trench side of things. To saying Kerbal Falls for workers. I'll see you in 30 minutes.
It's been a bad week in the Flame Trench for second stages. Falcon 9 suffered a second stage failure. Ariane 6 finally debuted, but also encountered some second stage shenanigans. And, of course, Starship. No danger there for second stages. But either way, it's creeping ever closer to readiness for Flight 5 with the completion of some booster testing. Let's talk all about it on this week's Flame Trench.
And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, Atlantis.
Water towers, fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside SPD off. Bring in SPD off. It's orange!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You good? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Welcome to another edition of The Flame Trench, our informal weekly discussion show where we talk about news of the week and whatever sort of off-the-rails diatribes we want to get into. But a lot to talk about this week, as mentioned in the cold open, so we'll just get right into it. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF. I'll be the host or one of the hosts or whatever you want to call me. I'll be your person today talking at the camera, but luckily I am joined by our ever-competent cohort of co-hosts, starting off with EJ, who predictably is reading a book. What you reading, EJ?
I'm reading about startup sequences on second stages.
Huh.
No reason.
Yeah, just some light reading for no particular reason there.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Anything of note?
Startup sequences for rockets is basically a gigantic Rube Goldberg machine. Yep, that just ends with an explosion and hot gases coming out the bottom. Yeah.
I just realized something I never knew I desperately wanted in my life is Joe Bernard to make a Rube Goldberg machine. Can you imagine?
I'm here for it. I'm here for it, dude. Let's do it.
That would be
I
amazing.
like this plan. I'm happy to be a part of it. Let's do it.
Also joining us for today's Flame Trench, we have Adrian. Adrian, how you doing, bud?
About 24 hours ago, I really didn't think that a Starlink mission would be probably the most talked about thing for today. It has been, let's say, an interesting week in spaceflight overall. And I'm not, like, you would imagine after Ariane 6, it's like, that's the main topic, but we'll get into that. There are many, many different things in this week that we have to talk about. And I'm looking forward to this discussion because I have opinions. I've brought a bag of opinions with me. I also brought a bag of interesting things I hope to say, and also few shenanigans. So
Would you say you have a 10-pound bag of comments with 20 pounds of comments to fit in it?
Doesn't know what pounds are, Jack.
Oh no, that's right. Sorry, liters? It's liters, right?
Kilos. Dude.
It's liters.
You're making us look stupid.
Hey Siri, how many liters to the pound? Oh, she's actually It says they're not compatible. All right, let's get. Oh, also joining us while I've broken EJ and Adrian, Alex. Alex is going to join us to talk about Falcon 9. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. I know of a certain person that was in a trip in Florida, and they extended the trip just to watch more launches, and then, Falcon 9 happened to not Falcon, which was, let's say that, it's going to hurt in my pocket, but, whatever. As you can see, I'm in a hotel room right now, and I'm not Max either, but I can take some photos if you want to.
It looks like you're in a utility closet. Like there should be a guy shuffling by in gray coveralls, like
Well,
mopping the floor.
He's
That's
scruffy.
Florida hotels for you.
Scruffy, the janitor.
Janitor.
It's like,
that away,
and he also doesn't care that there's a live show being introduced right now. He's like, no, sorry, it's cleanup time,
Right.
and he's like, no, sorry,
That would be perfect. As always, if while we're talking about the topics of the week, you have any questions you want to ask at NASA Spaceflight in chat, and it'll pop up in some handy-dandy software we have running in the background. But yeah, we streamed the booster spin prime test earlier today, and we got a lot of questions about what the heck is up with Falcon 9 and when we think it's going to fly again and how long the investigation is going to take and all stuff like that. So let's just jump right into it and talk about the Starlink 9-3 mission that launched from Vandenberg yesterday and unfortunately suffered an anomaly with its second stage. Alec, you are Mr. Falcon 9. I know I joke and I call you Mr. Spreadsheet. I call a lot of people a lot of things, but you have an uncanny amount of knowledge about Falcon 9. So I want to hear what your thoughts are here.
Yeah, I was actually watching this from the room, and I was, just normally watching it. I saw the stage separation, everything looked normal. And after fairing separation, like about 2 minutes from here, from this point that you can see there on the live stream replay, something happened. It was weird. I started seeing a lot of ice, streaks of some liquid praying out of that insulation that you can see sort of like right next to me here.
Right,
There
like
you
we
go.
see it. We've seen that insulation, that mylar or whatever it is, bulge up before, but never sort of barfing solid oxygen like that.
Yeah, and that was one of the first things that I we're talking in the back channels and whatnot, talking about our reactions and what we're seeing. And I was like, that looks like liquid oxygen that is being leaked somewhere in upstream of the engine, and it's leaking out of that insulation. It seemed to even ripped off part of the insulation, and that was where it was leaking from. And as it leaks, it just converts into solid oxygen and it forms those clumps of ice that we can see there. We've seen that in the past, but in a much different scenario.
Right.
With the MVAC engine has this bleed line that is used for engine chill, but also it's used. You can see it actually somewhat venting there already. It's normally used for essentially just relief of the liquid oxygen side of the engine. But there you can see that initial inflation, and then you can see like flakes or streaks of some liquid coming out.
Right.
And then we see the ice building up. So it was very similar to that kind of ice that we see from the engine bleed line. Normally we see like a clump of solid oxygen, and then when the engine relights, we see it go whoosh, and it gets burned in the exhaust. It's usually very fun to see.
We always get a bunch of comments every stream where it's oh, what was that? Was it aliens? Is it okay? And it's like, no, it's just a little bit of solid oxygen ice that has formed and then broken off. But we've never seen anything with this sheer volume of solid oxygen.
And the location, like it's coming out of that insulation, the engine chill bleed line. It's essentially like this sort of little stick that comes out from the side of the engine, and you can actually see it most of the times when that happens. This is not normal. You can see there that streak of liquid oxygen going out from that insulation. I was looking at that live and I was like, this is not good. This is liquid oxygen being leaked. And it is true that at the end of the burn, the numbers look good. You were saying before that I'm, kind of like a Falcon geek and whatnot. I usually do the joke that I'm the Falconologist or something like that. It's just a joke name, though. But it is true that, I more or less know from memory what are the correct numbers for the insertion into the preliminary orbit. So for those that don't know, these Starlink missions usually have a 2-burn profile for that second stage. So the first burn, it's right after stage separation. It puts the satellites into a preliminary low Earth orbit, usually around 135, 180 kilometers on the perigee side, or the lowest side of the orbit. And then the highest point, it's usually around 280, 290, sometimes 300 kilometers above the ground.
Right.
Then what it does is, it goes up to that highest point, it burns again for another second. It's basically blink and miss. It's like a very short burn, and it circularizes the orbit to around 280, 290 kilometers. And from there, once the satellites are in that orbit, they separate, they raise their orbit with their ion thrusters and whatnot. However, that was one of the main things that I had in mind when I saw that, was like, okay, it may be able to complete the first burn, and the numbers look good. Again, I looked at the numbers, compared that to previous Group 9 missions and everything, and other Vandenberg Starlink launches and whatnot. They look good. Didn't seem nothing out of the ordinary. The problem is, what is going to happen after that? And I was talking to you guys on the back channels and whatnot. That was one of my worries, and I posted that as well on Twitter, that I hadn't seen this. I've watched more than 300 Falcon launches. I had never seen such an anomaly, such a thing on that second stage.
Well, speaking really quick on how it looks, I mean, it's unfortunate, obviously, that there was a failure, but seeing the ice get obliterated by the plume from the NVAC is just gorgeous.
It's funny.
Good, but it looks really cool.
Yeah,
Christmas
it
in
looks
July,
cool.
man.
What
You
did
know,
It's Christmas in July, dude.
Hey,
you know what they say about rockets, right? When they fail, usually it's like spectacular failure. Normally, it doesn't tend to be a very boring failure, if you know what I mean, right? Sometimes there's like a long leak, some fire, some explosion. In this case, it was the leak. In this case, with the ice building up and then being broken up by the exhaust and everything. But yeah, after about 2 hours into the launch, we got a confirmation from Elon that unfortunately that second NVAC engine start did not work as we sort of, had thought. I had somewhat of a hope that it will work. They will separate into the correct orbit, but then they may not have been able to deorbit the second stage, in which case, well, it has happened before. And actually, this is not the first time that an MVAC engine sort of fails, in quotes, in orbit, because it's happened before for deorbit burns, but it has not affected a main mission. So this is a very little known secret. I guess it's not a secret, actually, because it's like public, and you could see it on orbital tracking sites and everything, where for certain Starlink missions, it seemed like they didn't, or either the orbit burn failed, or they didn't go ahead with the orbit burn. So that MVAC engine on those missions in particular seemed to have failed. So this will not be a first, but it will be a first for the primary mission. I had my hopes on that second relight, the second burn, first relight to have worked. But as you can see there from that tweet from Elon, it seems like it had a rut. We don't know what kind of rut, because there's many ways of having a rut, right? You can have an actual explosion, or you may have just the engine just goes like wonk and sort of like. But there you can see that statement from SpaceX on their website. It confirms that liquid oxygen leak that we observed during the second stage flight, and unfortunately they are grounded right now. I can maybe fast forward here to the FAA statement talking about, how this has triggered a mishap investigation. For those of out there that, have been following Starship, you probably all know about the mishap investigations and whatnot. We have talked many times about the 9 conditions that will essentially trigger a mishap investigation. In this case, I looked back and there's probably 2 of them which were probably met on this mission, which was the unplanned loss of the vehicle. It is obvious that it was lost in some shape or form, right? They were not able to control it. They were not able to do that relight. And the second one will have been not being able to perform the mission as licensed. So in this case, for example, that could be another thing that could have triggered that mishap investigation. So you can see there, for the time being, Falcon 9 is grounded, unfortunately. But, this is what happens when things go wrong. And it's quite crazy. It's been 334 flights since AMO6, which is insane to think about that. And I think Elon made another comment as well that, sometimes when you're launching so much, you end up finding errors either with your hardware, with your requirements, with your systems, with your checks, whatever,
Yep.
right?
Well, there's a lot of benefits to having
Anywhere.
a high flight rate and a high cadence. And in a perverse way, one of those benefits is you will be more likely to uncover those 1 in 1,000 style issues. But Alex, we have a couple of questions coming in here. Some of them are just for you, buddy. Joe is asking, will you stay stateside until Falcon 9 flies again?
I don't think so.
It's like when I don't shave my beard between Starship launches. It's like, you have to
Yeah.
stay where you are until it launches again.
Let's.
Nah.
But that's a part of an interesting question, right? That I think everybody here has probably an opinion on. Like, we are talking now about the mishap investigation, and the likely situation is, and that's according to the FAA statement, that SpaceX only needs to prove, in this case, we kind of saw this by the way with Flight 3 of Starship, that no public safety was endangered, and then they can return to flight. That's how these mishaps investigation work. Either you close them completely, or you not close them, or you basically postpone them, but you say, hey, public safety was never endangered. Like, how long do we think Falcon 9 will be grounded? Like, do we talk a week? Do we talk 2 weeks? Do we talk a few days?
Yeah, we have a bunch of people in chat asking this. Alex, I'll let you go first, and maybe we'll go around the horn.
I will go with one of my usual long answers, I guess. But you got to think about two sides here. One thing is the paperwork, right? And what the FAA might be okay with. Of course, it didn't look like there was some kind of public safety issues, or perhaps from the FAA side of things, they may not even need to complete the mishap investigation to be able to return to flight. But the important thing is what SpaceX needs by themselves to return to flight, right? That is probably more important here, where it's like, what sort of thing they need to look at? Was this a design issue? It's very unlikely when you're flying so much that it's probably a design issue, but you still want to look at it, right? And see what things can be improved and what things can be solved. And if it was not a design issue, then what was it? Was it the hardware? Was it a one-off? Was it something that was passed that and shouldn't have been passed on checkouts, on quality assurance, right? All of that kind of stuff, they'll need to go through the fault tree. First of all, finding out what happened actually, but then also trying to avoid this from happening in the future, which will likely include a whole revision, perhaps, of the system. You know, on the last two, I mean, I'm going way far back because this was more than 300 launches ago. But for the CRS-7 mission, for example, when they went back and they returned to flight, they returned to flight with a new version. And that new version not only had all of the improvements and whatever that they wanted to have, but also they looked through a gazillion of other systems to improve the reliability.
Right.
There's most likely a bunch of things that they may know could be improved, and now is the chance. Now it's like the time of being like, okay, now it is when we can actually stop that, you know, slow down a bit, stop here and be like, we're going to improve a bunch of these other things that have been probably like a pain in our backs, and, you know, for example, for booster, maybe for refurbishment and things like that.
Right.
I'm just, you know, this is all boiling down to, it may not just be them solving this particular issue, but also more things or changing other things that may wish to change based on this. And at the end of the day, Falcon 9, which was already really incredibly reliable, like I was literally following that streak of successful launches because no other rocket family or individual rocket has been able to achieve what Falcon 9 has been able to achieve. It'll be much more reliable after this. And that's sort of the point here. Either whatever it was, it's going to be solved, it's going to be fixed, and hopefully not repeated. And you know their mantra, right? It's like, stay hungry. It's like this sort of thing of never let anything pass, and keep your focus on the mission. They have potentially, so they had, just to put in perspective, they had potentially up to 3 customer missions in the next couple of weeks. Then Polaris Dawn, they had also Crew 9. These are crew missions they had a bunch of other customer missions, very important payloads as well, valued in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Thankfully, this was a Starlink mission. So they obviously need to do all of this. And, as probably number one fan of Falcon 9, I'm really excited to see them coming back to, with even more of a noomph and more of a reliability.
Yeah,
And as Jared is saying there, they'll go back. No,
right.
no
And
problem.
it bears repeating that second stage on a crewed mission does not do a relight to raise the perigee. So that's a thing. Dragon
That's
has its
good.
own, a much more robust capability to raise its orbit. This thread from Jared is really great, just detailing all of that. But that doesn't mean this isn't something that you want to look at really closely. And also, just really quickly to say, Starlink are internal payloads. So if there's a mission where SpaceX is going to push the envelope, they're going to do it on Starlink missions, not on something like a customer mission or a crewed mission. So for all we know, they were trying something new or pushing the boundaries in some way with this mission, and you don't find the limits of what's capable by playing it safe. So it's unfortunate, but thankfully, just an internal mission, just some Starlink satellites. But yeah, I don't know, EJ, what do you think, buddy? Like, how long till Falcon 9 flies again? What's your gut?
Sorry about that. I was reading what I was saying is that I'm actually reading the book about starting sequences. I don't think it's going to take very long, guys. Sorry about muting the mic. Thank you for letting me know. I don't think it's going to take very long. I really don't. I mean, Alex, I think, is onto something that they could use this as an improvement to baseline a bunch of new stuff. I think there is something to that, but and they probably will. They'll probably just use this as an excuse to implement a bunch of stuff because you got to kind of stop your production base for a moment, figure out what's going on.
Even hinted at something like that. I think on his comment that they'll look at other areas as well to improve that as well. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I agree. I think that's, if they're going to do that, they might introduce some changes here and there, but I don't think it's going to take very long. I think SpaceX is their business strategy right now is to get those Starlinks up because Starlink is their profitable venture. I mean, obviously there's crew, there's the commercial crew program, there's commercial resupply, but where they really have to get Falcon 9 back up and running. There's also the paid missions like Polaris Dawn. These missions, these missions have a cadence, and you got to get this cadence. You got to restart the cadence. Having a bump in the road like this is just that. It's a bump in the road, but I don't think it's going to take very long. In fact, I would go so far as to say that I think SpaceX probably has this, whatever happened, figured out.
Yeah.
I think they have it figured out. Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle between everything here. I think there's a good chance that we will see a Falcon 9 returning relatively soon to flight. However, I do see some slips coming to Polaris or potentially Crew 9, because I feel like there's a difference between returning to flight, launching Starlinks again, launching some satellites again. But I could see a situation where NASA just tells them like, "Hey, can you no offense, but can we not be like the return to flight mission with Crew 9 or something?" Like, I feel like there might be a situation coming here where we see them just start to launch Starlinks again and then get into these custom missions again, just because, hey, Starlinks are basically a very good way to verify that you're good again. And I feel like that's the kind of expectation I have right now. But however, I would not be surprised if we see like a Falcon 9 return to flight by, I don't know, end of next week or the week after. Like, sounds totally realistic to me.
All right, well,
I will say, hang on, because I actually didn't. I did my whole speech and I never did like some kind of time frame. I think it's probably going to be August at the very earliest. I try to be positive and everything. I think, root cause, it's going to be like this week. I think it's probably going to be very quick in that sense, but introducing all of the stuff that I talked about. It's probably going to take a couple more weeks and the paperwork and whatnot. I think it's very safe to say, my opinion at the very least, that maybe in August timeframe at the very earliest. So it could probably go beyond that if they actually find that it's actually, something more important. But in which case, if they return in, there's going to be a whole fleet of boosters already refurbished. Because in a month, can you imagine how many boosters they can refurbish in that month? All of the fleet is going to be refurbished. They're going to have the whole fleet ready to go, multiple second stages ready to go. They're going to have multiple fairings ready to go. They can launch really quickly if they wanted to, and still keep that reliability. Because if it wasn't a one-off, for example, in which case, if you can imagine, you were talking about how they might not want to have Crew 9 or Probably Stone being the first return to flight mission or something like that. They could launch a bunch of Starlinks and a couple of satellite missions, and then the crew missions, and not even be 2 weeks into the return to flight with their cadence, right? So we'll see. EJ, I see you're doing
Hey.
some gestures.
Oh no, I'm just going along with you, dude. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much in agreement. I don't. A lot of people don't know, and I think this is a good time to explain it. That every single Falcon 9 flight, and I learned this from an interview with Bill Gerstenmaier, who's the VP of Flight Reliability. I didn't do the interview. I think the interview was with Aviation Week or something. I forget. In this interview, he said that every Falcon 9 flight, the telemetry gets uploaded to a SpaceX server, and they have a database of all the telemetry from every flight, right? But not only do they have the database there, but they have some type of trick software that checks all the telemetry from one flight to the entire database of Falcon 9 flight data, which that's insane. First of all, that's some really awesome front stack engineering. It's really cool. I think that's really neat. I'm kind of geeking out. But long story short, if there's some funnies with the telemetry in this one, I'm pretty sure whatever happened to that thing, that upper stage probably would have shown up in telemetry. Like the LOX level is going down, right? Not as faster than it should, right? I'm pretty sure that it would have flagged it and it would have sent emails out to the proper engineers. And that just speaks to why I think SpaceX is going to get this done quick. They have really, really, really good ways of doing what's called a fault tree analysis. Like, you got to figure out what went wrong with this engine. Where did this leak go wrong? When did it crack? What phase in the flight did it crack? Was it cracked before you started flying?
Right.
No, I don't know. Depending on what we saw, it seems like the leak has something to do with a pre-valve or a thermal conditioning system. You said it was the bleed valves, right? Or the bleeding system. So whatever valves and hardware is associated with that, right? Yeah, whatever valves is associated, whatever hardware is associated with that. I mean, that's a good place to probably start because they tried to restart the engine, it didn't work. So that tells me that. I mean, I don't know if the Merlin vacuum engine has a pre-valve in it or something. Now, guys, to start a rocket engine, especially if it's using cold propellants, let me just get into it real quick. You need to prime it. You need to make sure that it's ready to go. Like, you don't want to just dry fire a rocket engine and then wait for the fluid for your commodities to get to the injector or get to the turbine machinery and then into your injector plate. You don't want to do that. So what they do is they actually fill them up. They fill the fluid impellers, and they fill up the fluid impellers and the pipes, basically leading right to the main control valves. And the main control valves are the valves that are between your fluid impeller, which is your turbo pump. In this case, on a Merlin vacuum, it's one axle with two impellers on it. So you have your gas generator down here, and then you have two pumps. There's a valve between those two pumps and your injector plate. The injector plate is where the fuel and oxidizer go in and make boom things. They make explosions in there, right? So whatever bleed system we have here, it could be a pre-valve from the tank. They could be using helium. They could be using helium for tank ullage, which basically means they pump helium into the tank, and that creates what's called head pressure. And that will, chill into the lines. And, because your main valves are closed and you're trickling propellants into your turbine machinery, they have small valves to that bleed system, right? So clearly something's going on with all that. Like, it could be just the engine. It could be something else. This is something that's going to be traced, but SpaceX will be able to trace it pretty fast. Like, and the other reason that they thermally condition an engine is, obviously you don't want to dry fire it, but you need to get it to operating temperature. It needs to be cold because they use densified liquid oxygen.
Right.
It needs to be cold. This turbine machinery needs to be at operating temperature. If it's not, stuff breaks. I'd also like to add that it looks like that Merlin vacuum engine had somewhat of a hard start scenario. If you start, for instance, if you start screwing around, and I'm trying to keep this short, okay? For instance, if you have a rocket engine and you're screwing around with the mixture, liquid fuel oxidizer ratio, so like how much liquid fuel you're delivering, how much oxidizer you're delivering, you start messing around with the mixture, you can create a detonation or what's called a hard start event inside of the combustion chamber. It's hard to say whether this did that or not, but we could definitely see that the mixtures were probably a little bit messed up because, some of the liquid oxygen started leaking out the side. That's probably screwed with the mixture at least a little. So, I mean, they're going to have to go through all this stuff. They're going to have to go look at all this stuff. But the telemetry and the check against all the entire Falcon 9 flight database they should be able to have it, figured out pretty dang quick.
Yeah, there's a thing I learned from doing one of our tours of Astra, which it's not unique to them. It's not even a new thing. It's just that's when I learned about it. But they called it their data lake, and it's like we've got all the data from all the engine tests, we've got all the data from all the launches, and whenever we get new telemetry or new data, we add it to the data lake. Such a fancy Silicon Valley term. But yeah, I imagine basically every aerospace company has something similar. They have a database, and they can use that to sort of diagnose any interesting anomalies that they may have. The other thing is a lot of people I know, I see it right here in our question panel, wondering how long this is going to take to be resolved. And I think the main thing is, what kind of failure was this? Was this an unexpected hardware failure, or was this some sort of process failure where hardware that was known to not be necessarily 100% up to snuff was utilized, and it's a process failure because maybe that hardware shouldn't have been used in the first place, or wasn't checked out to the extent that it should have been. Does that make sense? There's different types of failures. It could have just been a process failure that requires a change in how you get a rocket ready to launch and launch it, versus a hardware failure, which will necessitate hardware changes to the fleet and already built second stages and whatnot. So I'm super curious, what failure bucket this falls into.
I think the worst case in this scenario would be if they introduced something new that they already implemented in a lot of second stages on this mission. Something, hey, we fixed this weld line and changed it, and they had to have this already for 15 second stages, and that single thing cost us. I think this is the worst case situation, because that means, hey, you're kind of probably have to investigate all of these new things that also have this commonality. If it's just a material or single process failure, I think that's almost the best case, where you're in a situation where okay, well, bad luck in this case. Maybe we need to reinforce this, make sure or check it. Maybe we can trace it based on some previous analysis. But that would be kind of the best case. And again, SpaceX probably has some recordings about this specific second stage. I bet somebody at some point measured something about the second stage, and somebody inspected the second stage. So I wonder if they can now go back and be oh, yeah, we should have spotted this based on this.
Yeah,
I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the way. Go ahead, Jack.
We do have a poll in chat. Who wins the longest answer competition? Your options are Alex at 30% currently, EJ at 37% currently, and Adrian's oversized water bottle at 33%. So if you're keeping score at home,
explanations aren't.
If you're keeping score at home, the leader for long answers is EJ. The second place is Adrian's oversized water bottle.
How is EJ leading? Sorry, I'm
How am I leading?
Alex started a 20 minutes opener.
He did.
Alex gives the novel responses. Like it's a freaking novel. And you know what? I'm here for it. It's excellent.
This is just further proof that the chat polls cannot be listened to. Like the chat poll that says stubby nozzle is the best nozzle, we can just disregard that now.
Also, shout out to
know.
this oversized water bottle. It's totally like it's 2 liters.
It's
That's
gigantic.
How many
Wow.
pounds is that?
I have no idea.
Pounds is not it's not volume.
It says 65. Is that ounces? I don't know.
Jack, we
Yeah.
use liters for liquid measurement over here,
Okay.
not pounds.
Yeah,
liters and gallons.
but like
Pounds and liters
how
are not
many
the same
how many pounds
unit.
is however many liters of water?
No.
I love.
I mean, if you want to know the mass of a liter of water, that's a kilogram.
All right, how many leagues of water is it?
How many like Günther's chain of water is this? Like I don't know. I don't know the imperial system.
What is that in stone?
Okay,
Right.
going back to the Falcon 9 stuff.
Hey guys,
I don't know
just
if
wanna
you
bring
have
up
any
a point
questions.
that I've seen go through chat a couple times, and I think it's kind of important. People have said, "Can it just be a failure?" And my opinion is no. But I want to know your answers because I think that's really important to understand.
What does
What
that
do you
happen?
mean?
You mean
Somebody-
like they? So just to explain that, you mean hey, it's just a one-off thing. Everybody is like, huh, and they go on.
I think that's
regret.
what they might be saying in chat. I don't think with 300 plus flights, how could they just have a random failure? I think there has to be, like Jack said, maybe even something in the process that is wrong, something that was missed. I just don't believe, it just failed.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was getting at a little bit with the process failure thing. Is I think at this point, after 300 something launches successfully, SpaceX has proven that their hardware is pretty good to go. So I wonder, was a bolt not tightened properly? Was a valve, dropped on the floor and then used as flight hardware anyway, or whatever? That is a process failure, and that is how you get like a weird random one-off. But you can't just say, "Oh, it failed." Let's move on. We'll be good.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get things like shuttles, SRBs burning through one of their 2 O-rings and being like, it's fine, right? Yeah, and then many flights down the line, unpleasant things happen. So when you have a failure, you need to use that to inform what you're doing, even if it's just we're doing okay. We just need to change 1 or 2 small things. Hopefully, that's all it is. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, one of the things that I will say as well is that sometimes the process also incurs its own failure rate, right? Like you have a series of steps that you have to follow to be able to put together the rocket. And, each step carries its own sort of little risk associated with it. If you do it and you do it right, you might have like maybe 1 in a million chances or something like that. But after a bunch of these steps put together by many different people, very talented people, of course, you sometimes may incur in some accumulated probability after all of that stuff where you get 1 in a 300 chance of something going wrong. And it's like, well, after the 300th time, something failed. That could also be the case where, the procedures are written correctly, the things are done as the procedures stipulate, but there's an intrinsic risk on that procedure, on those many steps to put everything together to make it all work. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of processes, it's a lot of hardware that you need to put together. There's always some kind of risk associated with that kind of stuff. I'm actually very surprised. EJ was talking about before, about how they have these software and whatnot, on how they are able to put all of these together. Because, it's not just the software about the data, it's also about, making the processes and making sure that everybody follows the processes and all of that stuff. Like it's just mind blowing that they're able to do all of that and do it like more than 300 times in a row with no failure, right? And you sometimes do your things right and suddenly things go wrong and then you learn something new and it's like, well, it turns out that X bolt in whatever flange needed to be a little bit more tightened on this process because it incurred X amount of risk, and so if we tighten it a little bit more, it's lower risk or something like it's very subtle sometimes. And well, we've known from other places as well that tightening the bolts is really important for some procedures, and so it's it's sometimes important to know that even when you do your work right, there's some risk involved in there, and that's how it is. It's a very complicated machine, lots of people working on it, and so also on the same note, I don't know if you have any questions about this, but I've been asked in
We
social
have
media
so
because
many
everybody.
questions, Alex. We have so many questions, but you have not stopped talking yet.
Exactly. I have probably one that I was sent before the stream, and I wanted to just tackle that one, which I think is probably important. Does this affect the boosters? Because it's a Merlin engine, right? You think, well, it's an MVAC engine. Matter of fact is they are different engines, even though they have the Merlin in front. They are differently designed. They have different. It's gas generator, RP1, kerosene fueled rock engine, but they are different engines. So that's a sea level engine. The MVAC engine works differently. You have a lot of the manifolds for the gas generator exhaust, for example, going around the nozzle extension and things like that. A lot of the other components are also different. At the end of the day, they are two different engines. We also don't know if this was actually the engine itself or the plumbing that goes to the engine, because those two are different. And as we've learned with the Starship, it's very important to have your plumbing in check, right? Or even your tankage and all that. That can affect things downstream, aka to the engine. So, for example, with Raptor, there were always, these debates of, is it reliable or is it the vehicles? And it turns out that it's probably down to the vehicles. That integration between the Raptors and the vehicles. So this could also have been something like that, where it's an issue on that integration between the engine and the stage itself, and something in between kind of failed, rather than the engine by itself, which is probably better in some sense, because then it probably means it's down to some procedure. But this is like speculation land and everything. I just wanted to clear out this because I've seen people, asking me, does this affect the boosters? Because they also have Merlins. And it's like, they're different engines in principle. If it was something directly with the MVAC engine, in principle, it could be not related with the boosters, which is good.
Right. Cool. Let's thank some people for support and do some questions. How about Alex Plant? Thanks for upgrading to Capcom member. You get Discord access with Capcom membership, so pop into the Discord and say hey. If I can click on it. Robert Bryson upgrading to Red Team. Sponge becoming a Padrat member. Ralph becoming a Padrat member. Revel H becoming a Capcom member. Again, Capcom is like the sweet spot of the membership program. You get all the good stuff and you get Discord access. So hop into Discord and say, hey, Revel, we've got a bunch of fun channels. Just yesterday, I was yelling at Dan about tacos in food chat. Really important stuff. There's also members multi-views and all other kinds of stuff you get as part of the membership program. Full res photos and everything. So thank you, everyone, for supporting us in that way. We couldn't do it without you. The Goated One becoming a Red Team member. Graham Bartlett becoming a Padrat member. Tim Schaefer, Capcom member. Control, Capcom member. Y'all, whole lot of support today. Thank you. Elsers becoming a flight engineer. Holy cow. You get your name at the end of the Flame Trench. And what was that a train? What was a train? What was a train? I don't, because engineer. Kevin just had to do it 3 times before I finally caught on. But yeah, thank you so much, Elsers. That's an insanely outstanding amount of support. And you get your name at the end of the Flame Trench and at the end of NSF Live episodes, plus all of the other sweet perks, the members multi-view, the members only emoji, the member icon in chat, the pre-show and post-show to the Flame Trench, which if you didn't know is also a thing you can access via Discord. The Roundabout Guy. I really just prefer a plain intersection. I'm not really a roundabout.
What?
really a roundabout guy.
What? Okay.
What?
The American
Okay,
mind
no.
can't
This-
comprehend.
Okay. I know EJ
Can this
has
be like
more.
European
I know
against
EJ
American?
I know EJ has more hours in City Skylines than me, so I will throw this to him. But are you team roundabout or are you team intersection?
Roundabout is a screwdriver, and intersection is a hammer. The right tool is required based off of metered traffic flow. Roundabouts are good at small capacity. They're great for highway interchanges. Intersections are good in a different capacity. Roundabouts are useless with high flow rate.
No, I
Useless.
think we're in fight mode, but I think I'm going to agree. If you've ever tried to take the roundabout surrounding the Arc du Triomphe in Paris, I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yes.
It's insane. It is insane. It's like a
Yeah.
5-lane roundabout that makes you want to die as soon as you look at it.
Oh, can I rant about that roundabout specifically?
Go.
How are they not renewing the street painting regularly? Because when I was there, it's like a three lane kind of thing, right? And then you have like no clear lane distinction as well. So you have the combination of people going left and right in this roundabout, while
Yes.
also there's no mark, and you kind of just
And
let's
also,
just
a
say-
lot of the people driving happen to be tourists because it's a thing that all the tourists in Paris want to see.
yeah, it's why?
You see what I did? You see what I did? I got Adrian to argue against roundabouts.
Roundabout.
Against this, no, you kind of got me to argue against Paris.
Well, that's easy. That's easy.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, the roundabout guy. Thank you for the support. I don't even know what just happened.
You gotta be
there.
in a roundabout inside of another roundabout. We have that in my city. Just saying.
And
In
to
my
be-
neighborhood, there's
To be
like
fair,
5 of them.
I do like me a good roundabout. There was a bunch of them in New Zealand, like roundabouts for days. I'm not actually hating on roundabouts.
Did you
Aravale,
take them the right way?
What?
Did you take them the right way in New Zealand?
Yes. I only messed up driving in New Zealand 3 times, and each of those times was not involving a roundabout. I'm very proud of that.
Okay. I believe you.
Airvale, thank you for the support. They say, I expect to one day see a graph of launches per month with a noticeable dip in July and August of 2024. Well, yeah, it's basically a given at this point. Musical Wolves, thank you for the support. They say, welcome back, Jack. Will the anomaly slow launches from Florida? Well, Falcon 9, as we said, is grounded, so it's not going to be able to get dessert. It's going straight to its room, no dinner. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So yes, it will slow launches, and also Falcon 9 can't go outside to play with its friends because it's grounded.
Yeah.
We got.
Yeah, we got.
It's like,
we
you know,
got
like
it,
when you're like
on
a
the
kid
first pun.
and you're sad, your parents
Yeah,
are like,
go
you're
ahead.
grounded, and you're like, oh geez, and then you have to go
Continue.
to your room. But also, like when a rocket fails, it's okay. I'll stop. Rankley, thank you for the support. They say if only they used a stubby nozzle. Spawn Batiste, thank you for the super chat. They say, can this mishap influence the human rating of Falcon? Well, what do we think? EJ, go first.
Depends on the severity. I mean, this is what I was furiously thinking about, like, you know, if you looked at the camera, I was looking back and forth. Like I said, I actually am going through the book and reading and talking with my buddies over in Twitch chat over there. I'm streaming it on Twitch, by the way. Sorry, shameless plug. It could be 1,000 things. I was talking about pre-valves for thermal conditioning for the bleed lines. They might not be using pre-valves. If they're using ullage with helium tanks, which I think Falcon 9 does use, that's a problem upstream of the engine. There might not even be a problem with Merlin with the vacuum motor. It could be something that happened upstream. It could be something with anything in the mainline plumbing, all the way up to your main control valves. There is a bajillion different things, dude. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's tough.
dude, I mean, just for 1 second, I went off on a tail there. But what was the question one more time? Sorry, I was just thinking about it
Does
again.
mishap influence the human rating of Falcon 9?
It depends on the severity. It depends on where it is. It depends on what it is. If you have something that's weird with your tanks or your ullage pressure, yeah, absolutely.
I would almost feel like
If it's-
if it's a process failure, at least in terms of human rating, it's almost worse than like a hardware failure, like from say CRS7, where it's like, oh yeah, the supplier gave us a crappy part. We didn't check the part well enough because it came in a batch and the batch looked good. We'll make sure the hardware is good and we're good. If it's a process failure, at least in terms of human rating, that's less great in some ways to me because
it's harder to figure it out, dude.
Say what?
It's harder to figure it out. So once again, you have to go through when you have an anomaly like this, when you have misunderstood behavior, the thing does something you don't want it to, like pissing all the liquid oxygen out the side.
Not the phrasing I would have used, but I said barfing, so that's fair. Go ahead, continue.
Whatever. Hey, it was taking a leak. All right. What is it? A leak? You don't do that when you barf.
I mean,
I do not leak. You
let's
leak.
move on.
Okay, moving on. We'll just keep digging that hole over here. Yeah. Okay, we got axed. So, yeah, you have to do what's called a fault tree analysis. So, processing in the industry, processing flow fault tree analysis is insanely difficult. That is really hard to figure out. It's really, like, okay, one guy didn't tighten a bolt. That's what we were talking about. Okay, maybe one guy didn't tighten this bolt. Maybe this guy pinched a helium seal or something, right? Like, for with the other capsule, right? Like maybe that happened. Like when did this happen? When did it happen? Did it happen when they were putting the engine on the second stage? Did it happen during integration? Did some guy hit the thing with a forklift? Right?
Yeah. Did it happen in McGregor when they were testing the second stage before it even got shipped out to Vandy? Like,
well, I mean, SpaceX qualifies all these engines. They individually test the components. They test the engines, and then they test it with the stage attached. And then it has to go through acceptance testing. That's one of the other reasons why SpaceX is so reliable, right? We see them on McGregor Live. Hey, we see them testing stuff all the time. They're doing destructive testing sometimes, but most of the time, it's hopefully non-destructive testing. Mostly, that's your new word for the day. So this thing clearly passed acceptance testing, or else it wouldn't have been stacked on a Falcon 9 ready going up into space. It clearly did. So, I mean, that does narrow down your processing flow. I don't think it could necessarily be a manufacturing problem like CRS7, but that doesn't rule it out. You can't be absolutely sure until you know. It ain't what you know, Jake. It's what you can prove. It's gonna take some time to figure it out. But once again, SpaceX has a plethora of data that they can dig through.
Yeah, if Astra has a data lake, SpaceX has a data ocean planet. I don't know.
Great Lake.
It's a series of worlds in an entire solar system that are all just water worlds. Yeah. Anyways, Adrian,
good movie.
What do you think? Waterworld is a good movie. I know you haven't seen it, Adrian, but what do you think? Could this mishap affect the human rating for Falcon 9? I mean, there's a lot of things at play, right? Like there's Polaris Dawn, which is coming up. There's the Cygnus mission for ISS resupply coming up, and of course Crew 9. A lot of important missions coming up.
Yeah, I think there's, again, like what I alluded to earlier, I think there's a good chance that the next mission we will see will start a bit lower risk scenario because they could start to launch Starlinks again. So I think I do not think the next mission will be Polaris Dawn or like a Crew 9 or something like that. I would be very surprised by that. The good thing with the cadence SpaceX has is once they have found any root cause and return to flight, they can relatively quickly ramp up their flight cadence probably again and launch like 5 to 10 times. And that's probably in the ballpark of what NASA would be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. That's fine. And also the Polaris crew. Again, just for the outlook, there's no way that they will just quickly move to a crew flight right now. Right. I really think that's a bit postponed, and I would be very surprised if Polaris Dawn stays at like July 31st. I think it will go to like late August potentially.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alex, thoughts?
Yeah, I was actually talking the back channels because I'm from my hotel room, so I'm just only able to use my phone. But there you can see some of the. Yeah, you caught me. You can see some of the upcoming missions that were scheduled for either this month or next month. So we had the Space Norway mission of the Arctic satellite broadband mission from Vandenberg. We had Polaris Dawn. We had Transporter 11. There was also Worldview Legion. We had the Cygnus to the ISS. We had Crew 9 also to the ISS. We even had, I think it was scheduled for late August for CRS, the next CRS mission. I think it's CRS 31, I believe. So there's a bunch of customer missions that were scheduled essentially between July and August. It's actually probably one of the most active quarters, so to speak, in terms of customer missions, because everything that was scheduled for for the first quarter, second quarter, it was sort of pushed to the summer. And so we were, kind of expecting that. I think there was even like an NRO mission, a mission for the National Reconnaissance Office that was NROL 69. That was the schedule also for
We'll hear you.
for this summer.
We'll hear you. They'll hear you and do reconnaissance on us. That's what they do.
But yeah, there was a lot of customer missions that were scheduled for these 2 months. It was not just Starlink missions. But as Adrian was mentioning, they're most likely going to be doing like a couple of Starlink missions, then come back. The good thing, of having these such high cadence, such high capability of launching very quickly Falcon 9 is that they could, in theory, just launch them. Like if the payloads are ready to go, they are encapsulated in the fairings. They could just launch one after the other and just go, 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 go. And maybe we want to see a Starlink in like a month after they do like a couple of Starlinks and they return to flight and they start, excuse me, launching customer missions. Maybe it's customer mission after customer mission after customer mission for a month until we see another Starlink, which, to be frank, it has happened before. But thankfully, that last time it was not because of a failure. It was just because they had a bunch of customer missions, line up together
Right.
By pure chance. And that was about like 2022, somewhere around October, November 2022, where they had like 6 or 7 customer missions in a row in between Starlink missions. That was quite crazy for the time, because but it could happen.
Would it be fair to say at this point, with their fleet of boosters that they have, that the second stage and second stage production is kind of the bottleneck, even maybe more than payload readiness? Like they have to make a lot of stage twos because they don't get them back, and maybe this failure that we saw yesterday was a result of that ramp in needing to produce second stages one way or another, or just needing to have second stages. I mean, I can't imagine you make one and see it's a little bit wonky and then go, let's throw it away. Like they need every single one they can make. So maybe it's as simple as that.
It's also another debate that that has been sparked on the internet, because every single Falcon 9 failure has been due to a second stage. But it's also true that the 2 failures that had happened before happened with new boosters as well. So by that I mean, when CRS-7 happened, it is true that they were starting to land boosters, but they did not land any booster beforehand. And when AMO6 happened, I think they had only landed 5 boosters when that happened. It is true that the second stage is always new, but the boosters were new also when that happened, right? And how is it that they didn't have any failure of the boosters? It is true though, and there's like an asterisk here, they did have one mission, CRS-1, where one Merlin engine on the first stage failed during ascent. And what that meant is the orbit that they reached was reached nominally. It just took a little bit longer time of burn for that second stage to reach it, but it reached it because it had plenty of performance. The problem was this was a CRS mission. There were secondary payloads on board, and NASA did not allow SpaceX to burn again that second stage, do a second burn of the MVAC engine, because it had used so much propellant that they were not, because of that first stage engine issue, they were not sure whether that will actually be reliable or not to be able to do that second relight and put the secondary payloads into that different orbit.
Right.
So those secondary payloads just eventually deorbited within a few days, and it was declared partial success or partial failure. There you can see a Raptor randomly just firing up in McGregor, of course. at the horizontal stand.
Good old McGregor Live.
Seems like it's shut down already. Yeah, whatever. Sometimes the burns are longer though, and you can enjoy it for a lot longer. Watch my girl live.
Indeed. Let's do some more support. Musical Wolves, thank you for the $2 super chat. They say, will SpaceX make it to a minimum of 120 launches this year? Ooh, with the failure, it's tricky, but I'm going to say yes. Short answers only. Adrian?
Yes.
EJ?
Yes.
Alex, I know it's not in your nature. Short answers only.
100 definitely, 120 maybe. We'll see.
Definitely, maybe. You heard it here first on the Flame Trench. Lori, thank you
It's
for
a
becoming a
long
PadRat
answer.
member. Yeah, that was short by your standards. Nerd, thank you for the support. They say, seems like there's a bit of similarity between Falcon 9 Stage 2 failure and the new failure of STS-93 with the RS-25 hydrogen leak. EJ, any thoughts?
Oh, I'd have to go read up on the golden bullet from STS-93.
I was going to say, is that the gold pin?
Yeah. I'd have to go read up on it, dude. I believe it or not, yeah. Synerd kept asking me that question, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I'd have to go read up on it. So you kind of caught me with my pants down, but yeah, I've read about that before. I don't know, man. I know that 93 was hydrogen side, so that was fuel side. But we're talking about, on STS-93, you're talking about a fuel-rich stage combustion cycle using hydrolox. So with Merlin, you have an open cycle or closed cycle gas generator using Carolox. There are some similar components, right, like turbo pumps, but turbo pumps on an RS-25 or SSME are pre-burners technically. Like with this, you have a gas generator. You don't have a pre-burner in a gas generator design. I mean, you kind of do, but the pre-burner is just film cooling the nozzle instead of feeding right into the main power head, right? Like,
does that mean the main power head is a burner?
What?
If there's a pre-burner, that implies the existence of a burner.
Main burner, yeah. So,
Jack, if you want, don't listen to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to learn, like with a full flow stage combustion cycle, it's like two afterburning jet engines feeding their exhaust into a rocket engine. That's basically what's going on. That's the gist of it.
America,
like yeah, baby. That's why Raptor carries so much power. That's why the chamber pressures in there are so ridiculous, because you have the exhaust from essentially two jet engines feeding into your injector plate, right? Like, and then they spray more fuel and more oxidizer in there as well on top of that, and you make a nice big explosion in there. Oh, it's great. You can cook hot dogs on it. It's sweet.
Or bacon. But yeah, Synerd, we'll see what EJ can dredge up. EJ, you got some homework. Booster 1058.
I'll take care of it.
Thank you for the support. They say Alex is a novel series. Not wrong. Booster 1058 again say, by the way, I don't typo never ever. Of course not. Ninja. Oh, wait. Kevin, are you ready? You ready, Kevin?
Hi, Kevin.
We have a gifted membership by Ninja Decimator. Pew, pew, pew. Is it? Hey, good job. Thank you, Ninja Decimator. The roundabout guy, they say short man, long sentences. EJ. I mean, I would argue the same.
Short?
I think you're taller than. If anyone's short with long sentences, it's Alex. Sorry, Alex.
Hey, I'm 193 centimeters, man. I'm not short.
What is that in?
I'm
6'4".
I'm 5'5", 165
I'm not
centimeters.
giving you that in pounds, I swear.
Yeah, I was gonna
slap you.
What's
that?
What it is
Jack, Jack's about to ask what that's in pound per square inch or something.
Yeah.
How'd you know?
Whatever.
Me? Ask something absurd like that? Never.
No. Don't you dare.
We have
How much is that in
$4.99
gallons?
super chat from Ninja Decimator.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yes. They say rigged polls lie. It's stubby nozzle, bad. Ship 26, bad. EJ wins, long answers. Yeah, there was a poll. I think it's closed now. But each of the three answers involved the stubby nozzle being good. So I abstained from that poll. And I agree.
Same.
I agree,
Yeah,
Ninja Decimator. That was a bad poll. And whoever made it should feel bad. Unless it was Chris B, in which case, shuttle good, horse is good. Bideford gifting 5 red team memberships. Thank you, Bideford. You're awesome as always. Bloodhound09 with a super chat. They say, has SpaceX reached out to Adrian for his spreadsheets and data yet? Adrian?
No. I don't think. I really hope SpaceX has proper data collection. Also, I don't collect Falcon 9 data. That's this guy here. Actually, this guy here.
No, yeah, hi.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it was sad today when I had to enter failure.
Maybe EJ has also has like a folder of Falcon 9 spreadsheets and he just hides
It's
them.
up here.
Huh.
It's up here.
It's in the old brain meat.
Yeah.
Space Invader. Now I got that song stuck in my head.
Nice.
They say, do you think this failure is a direct result of the increased launch cadence, which caused a QC issue? I don't think anything really at this point, but I certainly, yes, that's a spreadsheet. Thank you, Alex. That's insane.
Yeah.
Holy spat. Ignore my note that you're just a phone on camera. Then.
Yeah.
There you go. So many things.
But yeah, Space Invader. That's sort of what I was talking about a minute ago. With they absolutely have to make an insane amount of stage 2s. That could arguably be described as like their current bottleneck. And yeah, maybe just having to make so many stage 2s meant that they used a sort of a wonky one on a Starlink mission because hey, it's just Starlink. It's not a customer. It's not crew. And here we are. Hopefully, the end result is that whatever hardware failure or process failure or QC issue or whatever it was can be resolved, and SpaceX can get back to launching soon. Well, I'm sure we'll find out more soon. The roundabout guy.
Jack,
go ahead.
Okay, real quick. No, this will be quick. I mean, the other thing to think about is that your talent base that you need. SpaceX works you to the bone, and hey, rightly so. If everybody go and work in there, I don't have any problems with that. You want to go in there and work 60 hours a week, go ahead, right? Like, but you got to remember that if you're going to scale up to launch 140 times in 1 year with one rocket, this might be your worker base you might have turnover. That's something to take into account. Maybe somebody left and they replaced them with another person. Maybe that person is inexperienced, right? Like SpaceX is hiring like crazy. You can go on their job site and go and check. They're hiring like crazy. They're expanding their talent base like twofold. Like, I mean, how much has it gone up in the last 5 years?
Right.
You're always going to have new people in there. Maybe somebody maybe inexperience caused this mistake. It's possible. I don't think there's anything nefarious or anything. Like, it's not. Nor do I mean, I think it's very much that. It could be talent too. It's an important thing to take into account.
Yeah, I mean, we as a whole, I think, try to reinforce with any rocket launch, with especially like firsts and lasts and things of that nature, that none of this happens without the blood, sweat, and tears of many, 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 many thousands of people, not just at the prime companies, but their subcontractors as well, and not just at those two entities, but also at the with the range. Or with the launch control services like Kennedy or the Canaveral Space Force Station or Vandenberg Space Force. Like it's a huge team effort to launch a rocket. So yeah, that talent, the know-how is definitely very important. Roundabout guy, thank you so much for the support. They say unsubscribing roundabouts are the best abouts. I see what you did there. Onwards, thank you for the support. They say when Flight 5 patch? Probably when we get a stack for wet dress rehearsal, right, Adrian?
Yes, there are drafts. I can confirm there are advanced drafts. That's
Good deal.
all I'm saying.
Mark W, thanks for the super chat, but I'm not going to read it because it's mean. Dan Elgin, thank you for the 1 red team membership gifted. And Matthias, thank you for the support. They say, sometimes I fail my bacon. But don't fail your bacon. Your bacon will never fail you. Because it's bacon. How could it? Don't look confused, DJ. You know I'm right.
Yeah, how do you fail bacon? I don't understand.
You don't eat
put
it
it in the oven for 15 minutes. What?
You fail bacon by microwaving it or not eating it. Those are the 2 ways you can fail
microwaving
bacon.
it. What the heck? No.
Or if
no.
if you go to the grocery store, don't do that. Or if you go to the grocery store and you forget to put it in the fridge and it's just like sitting on the counter and gets warm and then you don't want to eat it, then you have failed your bacon. Not that I've ever done that.
Yeah, you say that, but I feel like you have done that.
No, never. All right, let's move on.
I gotta say though, he cooks a good bacon.
Thank
you. Cook a good bacon.
You know this now because I have cooked you bacon.
I do. It was nice. It was really good.
Who's better at cooking bacon, me or D?
I don't know. D hasn't cooked anything for me, so I guess that has to happen this weekend, right? I'm here in Florida, so it
Yeah.
has to happen.
You can be the impartial judge. Speaking of impartial judges, Adrian, while we're talking about Stage 2 shenanigans, what exactly happened with Ariane 6's debut launch, and why are you spicy about it?
Get my popcorn, chat.
So-
Yeah, strap in, buckos.
This is the segment where I try to not burn any bridges. First off, Ariane 6 launch. Good. Then we crossed that off, right? Good, cool. We saw launch. And I'm very happy that it launched. I'm glad Europeans have a rocket back that we paid a lot for, that doesn't have that many upgraded capabilities over the last one, but hey, that's a thing. And now
You're not mad about it, are you? You're not mad about that?
No, absolutely not. And now imagine, so the one big thing Ariane 6 had over Ariane 5 was the ability, and I want to underscore this, the ability to relight its engine and to perform multiple burns in space to increase flexibility on complex missions. The one component of that is very important to do that is the APU, the Auxiliary Propulsion Unit. So they designed this. That's basically the biggest new part of Ariane 6.
Right.
And it's the thing that failed. The whole talking point about making sure. So people who are not aware, Ariane 6 reached the point where they relight the Vinci engine for the first time, so the second burn. And then after that, there would be a burn of this thing here, which is the APU, the Auxiliary Propulsion Unit. This thing would basically slowly raise the orbit until the third burn of the Vinci engine. That thing ignited and then shut off instantly, which was confirmed by Ariane. So that means right now, apparently the APU doesn't work properly-ish, and something is wrong with this brand new European rocket, which I'm not a fan of, because this rocket was talked about a lot, about like heritage and how it's opening a new window for European space. Like that was their whole talking point, right? They were like all about, hey, we're making sure this works and everything, and well, this happens. I'm not stoked about that. I don't think any European is stoked about that. And what I'm especially not stoked about is the communication, because while you see SpaceX talking about how we investigate a second stage failure, we will make sure that this worked. Like I like that statement. Meanwhile, Ariane 6 is kind of like the whole communication on that side right now is like celebrating a success. And I get that there are good things about this, but I feel like you should at least in some of these statements acknowledge that something went wrong and not like pretend everything went flawless. The last two payloads did not reach their desired position. That's a partial failure in my book. Or like a partial success. Pick your poison. Half glass full, glass empty, whatever.
I pick bacon as my poison.
Yes.
Ah, come on.
I don't like this communication. I feel like it's misleading sometimes, and it felt a bit off for me. And there we can see, by the way, the moment the graph where it goes away from the original planned trajectory. You could see how the APU would have raised the orbit a bit more, and well, it didn't. So that's my soft rant. I have a lot of respect for every engineer working on this. I just dislike the communications about it most, and I just wish we had a 100% working rocket in Europe. That's my rant.
Yeah, I mean, just really quickly, to play devil, I agree with everything you said. Let me start off by saying I agree. I do not actually disagree with anything you're saying. But to play devil's advocate, this is the first flight of a brand new rocket. I don't know what the political situation is regarding this rocket in Europe, because I'm just a simpleton, dumb American. And we generally don't really get into politics. But I can imagine a world where, from an optics standpoint, even if it's only a partial success, you want to sort of rally the troops and do like a rah rah, like we did it, first launch, hooray, we did good kind of thing to shore up political and public support. So I understand why that might be an impulse from the PR side or from the comms side. I don't necessarily agree with it as a choice, but I can see how maybe, and I'm like 4 layers of speculation deep here. Maybe that's why that was the tack that was chosen. EJ, it looks like you have thoughts.
Fellas, I mean, Adrian, there's nothing wrong with you wanting more from, your space program from your, quote unquote country of origin, right? That, there's nothing wrong with it wanting a better launcher for Europe, right? But also at the same time, fellas, you guys got to remember that the APU failed during the demo, the tech demo part of the mission, which were secondary objectives. I can't believe I'm arguing in favor of this, but it failed during the tech demo. The tech demo was the additional, those were secondary objectives. Primary objectives of this mission were a nominal ascent, and a perfectly nominal ascent and relight. That was 100% successful. It was the secondary objectives that Ariane 6 did not complete. Now, once again, I'm not going to sit here and argue in favor of like expendable launch vehicles in 2024, except for SLS. I like that one. I know people can hate me. It's fine. But this would be like Falcon 9 first stage not completing a landing back in the day. Jack, you said it's a new vehicle, et cetera, et cetera. When they were first pioneering landings, they a couple of them crashed, but it's just a secondary objective. This was the exact same thing, albeit with a little more risk, because them bricking the upper stage like that put it in an orbit where they can't do anything with it. It's stuck up there until it comes back down. It's basically unguided ballistic debris, which is not ideal from what I understand, but we got to remember here that their primary objectives were meted. The ascent were met. Meted. Nice. Were met. Meted. The rocket ascent performed great, dude. Meted. Goated. Meted.
Meted with the sun.
I don't know, man. It's been a long week.
Yes.
Yeah, so, your point is valid, EJ. Secondary objectives, when they're stated as such, then we need to approach people in the back channel saying needed, chat saying needed.
Whatever, dude.
I'm trying really hard to focus here.
Dude, it's out there on the internet. You ain't getting it back, so roll with it. It's funny.
What was I even saying? Oh, yeah. So
like
I
the
get
stage, you're not getting it
secondary
back.
objective, I understand, important to note, EJ. That said, I totally get and agree with and understand Adrian saying, this ability to do these relights was the whole shebang. It's basically the same rocket except for the addition of that. If it's a gross oversimplification, but is that fair, Adrian? Is that fair to say?
Can you repeat the second part again? My brain completely went out there.
Ariane 6 is largely the same as Ariane 5. The headline new feature was the ability to do that relight.
Largely. You have, of course, the upgraded P120 boosters. You have the Vulcan 2.1, which main goal is not like an performance increase. It's about cost savings and simplification of the engine. That was the main goals with like the first stage kind of complex. Vinci has some more significant upgrades with the APU and everything. Like that was like the whole relight capabilities kind of was a big deal, because that was one of the big reasons why this program is like a thing. It basically the whole thing of dealing with more complex missions.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Whenever you see SRBs eject and fall away, do you ever in your head just go, whee?
Yes, 100%, every single time.
Okay, I'm glad it's not just me. Alex, you were raising your finger while Adrian was talking. Do you have thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts is that the solid boosters are actually the first stage of the Vega C rocket, right? So far, they seem to have worked okay on the previous Vega C launches. One of the other things as well is that the big, as you were mentioning, the big thing for Ariane 6 was precisely that upper stage, that cryogenic upper stage, to be able to relight multiple times, because the Ariane 5 upper stage was not able to do that. The cryogenic, they actually had to develop early in the days of the Ariane 5, sort of like a hypergolic upper stage, which was indeed reliable. Essentially, they could light up the engine multiple times, but the cryogenic one was not able to do that. This one is the first time that an upper stage, cryogenic upper stage from Europe, is actually able to relight multiple times, or at least try to. The important thing out of this is that, it is the first time, and it is true that it was the main new thing, the shiny new thing on this flight. They're gonna get there, right? And another thing that I was mentioning sort of in the back channels yesterday or earlier in the week, I don't even remember when, was that the next mission does not need a relight of the upper stage. It's essentially direct insertion, so they don't need any of that. GTO missions, in theory, they could do direct insertion. That was what they already did with Ariane 5. Ariane 6, with the relight capability, could have just done it more efficiently, essentially, and being able to put those satellites into a much more energetic trajectory. If it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world for Europe. There's still a bunch of missions that they can still perform, and we can still perform, and not have any sort of issues. So, and that relight capability can be then tested after you have deployed your satellite. Then the mission has been completed. Then you can test that again and try it multiple times, right? That's sort of the main thing. I will also like to mention, because there's been this week, it's been the failure of the upper stages week, right? It's not just being Falcon 9 and Ariane 6. We also had a Chinese rocket, the Hyperbola 1 rocket, where an upper stage, I think it was the fourth stage, also failed and it didn't reach orbit. So, it's a week of the failure of the upper stages. There's been this whole debate of what constitutes a partial failure, a complete failure, a complete success, all that stuff. I don't know. I think this Ariane 6 mission is a partial failure, and that's not bad. By that I mean it's the first flight, right? If it failed, that because in my books, partial failure will be you have more payloads to deploy, and you were not able to send them to the orbit that they needed to get to, and they were not able to on their own get to the place that they wanted to, essentially. And there's been multiple examples of this. CRS-1, as I was mentioning before, that first stage Merlin engine failed during ascent. They were not able to put that secondary payload into the planned orbit, and it was a partial failure. That's a partial failure in my books. I think it was the fourth launch of Alpha. There's many examples of that, right? Where, your rocket does go into orbit, but it doesn't go into the orbit that the payloads need to be in. I think Ariane 6 does fall into that because those two payloads needed to re-enter, needed to the orbit, and unfortunately they were not able to do that because they failed that relight on the second stage. Now, what do you think about Starship Flight 3, right? Because it didn't do a relight either. But did it carry payloads? Was that the main goal of the mission?
Carried
But
a lot
then
of
you
air.
go. But this is sort of the debate, right? That has been ensued, but all of these, anomalies, failures, whatever you want to call them. And I think it's interesting because I will say in the case of a Starship, it did not carry any payloads. The relight was not key to it was key to test a technology. That's true, but so was, for example, the deployment of the opening and closing of the door. Do we count that also in the success criteria, or the transfer of fuel and things like that? It gets very, very, very icky, I say.
Yeah. So we have a question here from Spherical Cow. Assume a Spherical Cow. They say, isn't the APU mostly an ullage settling and ullage pressurization system it can contribute to reaction control, but it doesn't really and isn't meant to affect orbit much. Is that accurate, Adrian? You know way more about this than I do.
No, according to a statement set on the Ariane or like the ESA stream, the APU also would have conducted a slow orbital raising maneuver. The APU, I know EJ also compared it to another, I think on Centaur, a device earlier when we talked in the pre-show. But basically, the APU is able to help Vinci to reignite, repressure tanks, but also provide RCS and also like lower amounts of thrust. It's a kind like I'm not fully aware how it works, and also the Ariane group is kind of not giving 100% details about how it works, but they for sure said that it on stream that it also could have provided ongoing thrust to basically raise the orbit over time. And that is actually also the only event that would happen in that event frame. That's the moment where the orbit is raising. That's not a moment where the Vinci is even firing. That's a moment where only the APU, the third APU is active. But EJ, I think there's like another, like on Centaur, is comparable device.
Yeah, Centaur is a reaction control system that's used for prop settling. It's not used for ullage, for tank ullage. It's an Aerozine 50 monopropellant, so it's basically got. It could be Aerozine 50, it could be hydrazine. The RCS basically has a helium tank, right, and then you have a fuel tank. The helium tank squeezes a fuel bladder inside of the fuel tank, and the fuel tank gets pressurized through the lines, and then at the nozzles, there's a catalyst. And when the hydrazine hits the catalyst, it heats up and provides thrust. Centaur does have prop settling systems like that, but they're not, and they do boost the vehicle. They will increase apogee or change your orbital characteristics, but I don't think they use that for tank ullage, though. Centaur uses, it has an RL10, the RL10 with the expander cycle. I'm pretty sure that's what they use for tank ullage. But I could be wrong. It could also be helium tanks inside. I'd have to go and look.
Got it. We have another Ariane 6 question, and let's move on and talk about Starship. But really quick, Magnum is asking, when this Ariane 6 upper stage re-enters, is there a chance that the 2 re-entry capsules on board could survive? Adrian, there's re-entry capsules on this puppy?
Yeah, so the final 2 payloads that didn't deploy are the Nyx Bikini payload and another demonstrator shield.
Who's Bikini?
It's called Nyx Bikini. Apparently, to my knowledge, it's because it's a triangle shape, like the shapes of a. What? Yeah, it's called Nyx Bikini. I'm sorry. That's just
it's from
name.
the Exploration Company, which is a very generic name as well.
Yeah, it's the exploration company with Nyx Bikini. But yeah, the sorry, Jack. But the other payload is a Ariane group. Are you fine? Ariane group payload shield. That is also stuck in there. In theory, they should have released. They, to my knowledge, didn't. And the problem is this stage will stay up there. There are some estimations how long it will stay up there. It depends a bit also on orientation and drag and everything. But we are talking about 15-ish plus years. So I do not think these payloads will have any. They're not doing any data collection, re-entry, anything. So are you fine again, Jack?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I didn't expect to hear the words Nyx Bikini today. But wait, EJ, is it your birthday?
On the 5th, yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Belated, but still.
Thank you. Thank you for all the wishes in chat. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I saw some people in chat wishing you a happy birthday. Like Moldy Space, good old Moldy. Hey, Moldy.
Even the train.
What's the
I like trains.
What is a train for?
You guys
I don't know
that.
what I'm supposed to know when the train horn goes off.
That's usually a train uses that to warn that the train is coming.
What?
Is that why isn't a train horning to warn other people that there's The train?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't keep going.
Also,
Just
horning is
leave it
not a
there.
verb, my guy.
Yeah,
It is
Neat
now.
it is, though.
you really don't want to go
I
there.
only have four
Cool.
sound effects, guys. Oh, there's only four of them.
Oh.
So I wanted
Okay.
to wish EJ a happy birthday, and I had the train. So
Okay.
as
I like trains.
as,
Yeah.
as Adrian was saying, I was horning for.
Can you stop
Moving
using
right
that?
along.
Can you stop using that?
As we've established,
wait,
train
wait.
good, car bad. Let's move on.
Wait, no,
Oh,
we're
no,
not
no,
moving
we
on just yet.
established- it's established.
I got something. Oh no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Just real quick, Adrian. The train horn is used for a couple of different things. You can use it for in a certain sequence to warn people of a level crossing, or you can use it to warn people coming into a station. Basically, it's the frequency of honks. You have to. It depends on the sequence of honking. So, like, 2 honks, honk honk. Too short means you're going forward. The whole train's going to go forward.
Yeah, level
right?
crossing is like 2 short, 1 long, or something like that.
It's 2 long, 1 short, 1 long.
Nice. Good deal. All right, well, this has been your train facts moment on the Flame Trench. We'll try and wedge. Like, stay tuned every week. We'll wedge in new train facts when you least expect it.
We will
I
rename
will-
it to the train flamsh.
The train trench. The subway.
The subway.
Yeah, let's do it. I'd do that.
God. Okay, well, Starship, huh? Let's talk about Starship. How about?
Yeah,
so
I'm in.
there's been a lot going on this week in Starbase, which is I'm thankful for because I like activity, and I also just got back to Starbase, so hooray! Lots going on.
SPU.
Yes,
You're gonna be doing
there's-
SPU this week, right?
It's going to be like a 40-minute SBU this week, yeah, and I'm going to record it, and
Gotta
Ryan
be
is
so
writing
awesome.
it. So may God have mercy on our souls, mostly Ryan's. Ryan Caton, because he's editing, I assume. Anyways, so yeah, as you can see from this lovely robotic camera image here, Tower 2 has started stacking in Starbase. First tower module on the base, an additional tower module, which I am being careful to not say is the second tower module, because it's not, has been moved to the launch site. There's a closure tonight for another tower module move from the port to Sanchez. And that's just talking about the second tower. We also had some weird booster testing yesterday, which we should probably talk about. And then, hey, I know that guy. And then, why is it double watermarked? Dear God. Did I do that?
Jackpot. It's
Much
an
like-
Ignore
echo,
it.
dude.
Just ignore it.
Much like Urkel, I'm wondering if I did that. Anyways.
I'm telling you, it's an echo. Bye. And
It's like it's so fast. It's like, are we losing
Yeah.
our mind?
No, yeah. So yeah, in addition to Tower 2, there was some weird booster testing yesterday. I don't know, maybe like a propellant loading test of some kind. And then today we saw a spin prime, and there's a slew of road closures for like the entire week. So hopefully we get a static fire of the booster this week. That would be pretty cool. Although I am realizing as I say this week, it is Friday. So probably I should say in the next 7 days, because the week is basically over. But yeah, lots going on. You can see the spin prime from earlier today. That was
Jack,
a
real
treat
quick.
because we got to
I
have.
don't mean to interrupt real quick, brother.
No, go ahead.
Look at the back channel. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Yeah, we have breaking news.
Breaking from NASA. Many of you reached out for comment following the recent SpaceX commercial launch. Please see the NASA statement below. Although the SpaceX Starlink launch was a fully commercial mission, NASA receives insight from SpaceX on all items of interest about the Falcon 9 rocket as part of the agency's standard fleet following activities. Crew safety and mission assurance are top priorities for NASA. SpaceX has been forthcoming with information and is including NASA in the company's ongoing anomaly investigation to understand the issue and path forward. NASA will provide updates on agency missions, including potential schedule impacts, if any, as more information becomes available. Well, there you go.
Makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
SpaceX always
Apologies
does
for
these
interrupting.
things where they include NASA into their investigations. Even for Starship and everything. They do that all the time.
Good deal. Well, that answers some questions we had earlier in regards to the Falcon 9 second stage anomaly.
Sorry for interrupting, dude. I
No,
don't
EJ.
like doing that.
No, this was breaking news, EJ. You did right.
Breaking. Dun 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 dun. They're Batman.
We probably need something like that, right? Breaking news from NSF.
Kevin, can we get like the breaking news ticker, like sound like you know what I'm talking about? Can we get that?
We need the typewriter.
Look at that spin
Yes.
prime.
Oh, hey, look, the booster did a spin prime. Yay!
Look at
But no,
this
for real,
graph.
we're getting
Actually,
ahead.
interesting thing though. The booster did a spin prime. That's not a
Yeah.
given these days.
yeah. If
Why
I
is
remember
the
correctly,
boost-
the previous
10 and
two
11
flight
didn't do it.
boosters did not do a spin prime. They went straight to a static fire. So that is certainly something we could sort of dissect here a little bit. Why do we think that they felt it necessary to do a spin prime? Could it have been changes to the GSE? Could it have been changes to the hardware in the form of changes to the vehicle, or perhaps even changes to the engines? I don't know. EJ, why do you think they might have done this spin prime versus going straight to a static fire like we saw on the previous two flight boosters?
Changing the hardware, man. That's an easy one. They changed something. I mean, I don't know if you guys looked when they started filling that thing up with commodities. The frost pattern on the outside was a little bit different. That suggests that there's something different about this booster than past boosters. And we know from Term Dude, the everyday Astro Boy, his interview with Elon, that they are changing this booster constantly.
Oh,
If you
Dim
don't know
Todd, the
SpaceX
occasional scuba diver?
Yeah. Todd Dim, the everyday Astro Boy. Yeah, he's great.
Love you, Tim.
I love his channel.
Love you, Tim.
Yeah, Tim's the man. We like Tim over here. He's probably going to look at this and be like, "Yeah, those guys," you know. But it's definitely a hardware change, dude. That's what's going on here. They changed something, so whenever you change enough hardware, you're going to have to requalify. So you're going to have to go back to a slightly more metered approach. But that just speaks to SpaceX's rapid iteration. They're going really, really, really fast. Chat in chat, people say commodities. Commodities are really fancy industry terms for liquid fuel, oxidizer, helium, nitrogen, anything that potentially needs to go inside of the vehicle that it needs to launch.
Cordus
during,
Corax in
fuel.
chat says fart gas. Commodities are fart gas.
Yeah. Cow farts. But it could be oxygen as well.
You
or
never know.
helium or nitrogen. There's
Now I wonder
gazillion
if that
fluids.
name is, by the way, Corvus Corax, by the way. Now I'm wondering if that is related to a German medieval music band. But go on.
Last?
Right. Sounds like a scientific name for like a raven or something. Anyways, you know what, EJ, that immediately makes me think about is we have seen statements from SpaceX about previous Starship flights. The clogging issue with the LOX inlets to the Raptors at the bottom of the LOX tank there. Perhaps the need to do the spin prime is related to some sort of fix or additional filters or what have you that they've installed to potentially mitigate that clogging issue. And
Perhaps.
that could be the hardware change that necessitated this. I'm completely guessing here, but as you were talking, I was like, wait, didn't they talk about needing to add more filters or something? So maybe it's that. I don't know. Alex, looks like you have thoughts. Go.
The whole thing with the spin prime, sometimes they just also improve the engines. Because sometimes they just have newer batches of engines. And maybe Booster 10 and Booster 11, they were sort of the kind of same engines that they had been using, not the same exact engines, of course, but the same kind of engines, same kind of batch of engines that they used on Booster 9. And since Booster 9 was, normal to some extent, maybe they thought, it's not needed to do it on 10 and 11. And that could also be the case, right? It could be anything, really. Not just the plumbing, it could be also the tankage, it could be the engines themselves. Maybe there's some little improvements with Booster 12 on their engines, because I think we're already like well over 350 in terms of the serial number, right? So they have had literally hundreds of engines to be able to iterate, to be able to produce something even better. And we might see that with Booster 12, right? And there you can see some of that work of the second tower. I know it's not the main thing that we're talking right now, but I guess I can talk about what we're seeing on screen here, which is that mega construction there of the orbital pad B. It's always crazy to think that we're gonna have two towers at Starbase. really,
Can't
really
wait.
soon. I do
Can't
want to hit.
wait.
I don't know if we have it on the document because frankly, I'm really limited in my stuff.
That sound you hear is Kevin gnashing his teeth. But go ahead, Alex.
Are we gonna talk about the increase in cadence from Starbase?
It should be in the document actually, because I think if I, oh my god. So the thing is, I write that document and I don't remember if it's on the document. But to quickly summarize, yeah, there we go.
There you go.
SpaceX, actually the FAA today was kind of the FAA day. If you like the FAA, today was your day. The FAA basically said that they are committing public hearings or public meetings, as they did in the past, to modify the like regulatory paperwork for launches at Boca Chica to increase to up to 25 launches and landings at the Starbase Boca Chica facility. Also included in there apparently are some vehicle upgrades, so it seems like the scope of the whole thing might change a bit. But we have to wait and see for that, because apparently this was just the announcement of the announcement, kinda. Because they announced that they will do this, but the actual draft assessment was not released today. That will be late July, where we get actually paperwork and what they are basically want to do.
Right. So SpaceX and the FAA are engaged to be engaged.
Yeah, they're like they're getting
Engaged.
they're getting ready to get
They're
really
needed.
ready.
Good deal. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. If you are local, I think EJ just drank some shrink juice.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
No, you're good. If you are local to the Starbase area, or you can contribute to the public comments that the FAA is seeking, you should do that. Although, keep in mind, one of the things that held up the what was it? Was it preliminary? It's the PEA.
Preliminary
environmental
assessment.
assessment. Yeah, one of the things that held that up for Starship launches from Boca was the sheer volume of public comments. So
Yeah.
I still love the fact that they were dismissed in like a single sentence somewhere, and be like there was also a lot of comments from the SpaceX community around this vehicle.
Yeah, there were
Period.
something like 13,000 comments or something like that. It was mind blowing.
So yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out. Like you said, Adrian, you said late July. We expect to see the actual documents drop, and not just like an announcement that documents will be dropping.
Yeah, this feels like when game companies announce that they will release a trailer. Like it's like, hey, on 28th of July we will release our new trailer. I'm like, don't announce an announcement. It makes me it gives me more wait time. I hate waiting.
Yeah, you didn't even.
It could be worse. It could be Kingdom Hearts 3.
Don't talk about that.
Sometimes waiting is the hardest part.
Well, and we didn't even
You
know
know,
we
you
were
know.
waiting, but now we know that we're waiting, which
Yeah.
makes it even harder.
It makes it.
I was
it
not
makes it even
actively
worse.
waiting, but now I'm waiting, which makes like now I will have to refresh the FAA page again, like every few minutes after. Also, what's late July? When should I start refreshing? What do we define?
Last week of July.
So like 23rd.
Yeah, second or third week of July is mid-July. First week of July is early July. Last week is late July. That's how I would interpret that, but I am by no means the calendar master.
Yeah, Adrian's running down a dream here.
I want to pose a question to you guys.
No. Moving on.
Come on.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead.
EJ and Adrian. I'm seeing their feet. There you go. You can see them. They're
What's the question, Alex? What's the question? Just get to the question, please.
So now we're waiting for this, right? We now know what to see and everything, and what to wait for, but it is not unexpected for them to ask a higher rate. Is this what you expected for them to ask? Like, is 25 launches, because they also asked for 44 from 39A and 76 or something like that from Slick 37B. That's a ton of launches. That's like between all launch pads, it will be 150 per year, which is Falcon level.
I don't know
Is
that
that
I
what you
had
expected?
an expectation for what they would ask for, but 25 seems like a good number for me.
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, especially when it comes to Starbase in particular, how much commodities, haha, there's that word again, how much commodities they can actually get to the launch site. Like, what can they actually transport? What is going on?
That was the breaking news sound.
Is that breaking news?
Well, we don't have breaking news now, though. But I like it. I like it, Kevin. Hopefully, we get some more breaking news soon. Yeah, at a certain point, the bottleneck of launches in Starbase isn't even public, public willingness to support that. So at a certain point, it's how many tanker trucks can you get down Highway 4 with methane and oxygen and everything else that you need? And I don't know what that number is, but yeah, I do wonder if 25 is around the upper limit of that. I mean, at a certain point, I won't be shocked if a pipeline gets built across the shipping channel for SpaceX to get liquid methane from the giant natural gas terminal they're building there. But even then, that doesn't solve the oxygen problem. But yeah, 25 launches a month. A year. I didn't really have an expectation for what number, but that seems like a perfectly cromulent number. EJ, what do you think, buddy?
Should be opinionated.
Yeah, they're trying to invigorate
that number.
Cadence.
Yeah, I think that number it's going to be in flux. Like Elon has said in the past that they're going to use the Cape for operational missions. They're going to use Boca Chica for test flights. I mean, and he said that Starship is going to become, best case scenario, Starship's going to be the most reliable launch vehicle around, and it's going to be able to launch thousands of times, like in the future. This is going to warrant different amounts of test flights from, every year, right? But you're going to see the operational missions go out of the Cape, and once again, it's important to note that SpaceX's plans are always in flux. These are the plans as we know it. Right. So if you're watching this VOD in the future and that's not what they did, well, yeah, sorry, I was wrong. That was the plan right now, but they changed it. They changed the primary structure of Starship a little while back, right? Like, yeah, exactly.
Come on.
There you go. So, I mean, I think 25 is probably the upper limits of for test flights, right? Like, they probably could get away with like not close to that, but you take what you think you're going to do, right? Like, let's say they launch once a month out of Boca Chica, which, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of want that. That's 12 launches, right? 25 is double that. I'm pretty sure they said, all right, take what we think we need and add a little bit more because, the design is constantly in flux.
No,
we were talking about this a little bit earlier.
That's classic
right?
SpaceX. Yeah. It's the same thing with the original environmental assessment. They're like, and we want a power plant and a desal plant and a this and a pony and a friend for the pony.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that tracks with what they. Let me ask you this, EJ. And we all know the line from Elon about Starbase being for R&D and operational missions happening from the Cape, but I do think that with the sheer number of tanker flights they're going to need for HLS and eventually Mars, they're going to need to utilize every single pad they have. Do you class a tanker mission from Starbase as an operational mission? Because I think surely they're going to launch tankers from Starbase.
That's a good question. I think they would if they needed to. But gradually most operations will move over to the Cape. I mean, we saw a couple of weeks ago SpaceX is expanding Roberts Road again. They're like doubling the size of their facilities for Starship at the Cape. That's the huge facility that they're building just south of the VAB. I say just south. Kennedy Space Center is huge. It's a little ways away.
Yeah.
And Karina and Ninja, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I'm always reading chat, every chat, all the time. Anyway, I think that, Jack, we're probably likely to see some overlap, for HLS or at least Artemis 3 and maybe any future HLS flights. You're probably going to see some overlap because, I mean, who knows? The Cape pads might not even be done by then. Maybe we might see all missions from Boca Chica, but I think I think eventually they'll move over to Cape operations, but it'd be kind of crazy to be like, well, the Cape pad isn't ready. Well, nope, the best not fly today, boy. Like I don't think
that pad
I don't
ain't
think
right.
that's gonna happen. Yep. Oh, that pad ain't right, boy. I tell you what, doesn't use methane, not propane.
Have I said this before? I have an idea because they're rebooting King of the Hill. I have an idea for a spec script, which means a speculative script, like you just write a script and send it to the producers, where Hank and family go to South Texas for like a South Padre like spring break kind of vacation, and their vacation gets disrupted by a rocket launch. And that Hank is like really mad because he can't go fishing or something. But then he finds out that it's a methane powered rocket, and he's like, "Well, that's all right." Because methane's a clean burning fuel like propane. I don't know. I feel like there's a script there that you could write that would be amusing. Anyways, yeah, I'm a nerd. Sorry, you did Hank Hill voice and it completely distracted me.
Jack, you know what ULA stands for?
What?
Found on road dead. Wait, no.
Fix it again, Tony.
Fix it again. Sorry.
Fix it again, Tori. Sorry.
Rip Dale. Hey, I didn't say that. ULA's rockets are great. Just saying.
That's true. R.I.P. John Hardwick. That makes me sad.
Yes, Ryan, I'm reading it.
80 to 90% of the people watching chat or watching this have no idea what we're talking about. Wait,
yes. It's fine. We find it funny. Yes. That's all that matters.
Wait, did you see the chat, CJ?
Oh yeah, of course.
But you didn't respond.
What do you mean I didn't respond?
I don't see a response.
I just said a response. All right.
He said he's reading it.
Yes,
I know, but he didn't type the response. Anyways,
Jack,
Starship.
We should also mention the fact that hey, do you like static fires, Jack?
Yes.
Do you like static fires next week, Jack?
I do. I like static fires next week, Jack, and I like putting cameras near them, but not so near that they get completely and utterly destroyed and nuked like so many of my cameras have. What the? Kevin is just playing around at this point.
Okay, Jack.
I feel like I should have some glow sticks.
Voices out of my head.
I should be dressed in like neon clothes, and there should be black lights, and I should have a glow stick and lasers.
So, Jack, I have brilliant news for you.
What's the news, Adrian?
You are going to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning next week.
You always say 4 a.m. It's just 4 a.m. You don't have to say in the morning.
They moved the road closures to 6 from 6 to it's no longer 8 to 8, it's 6 to 6.
No. No. Why? You blew it up. You damn dirty ape.
Yeah, it's now 6 to 6. These are most likely Kevin. These are most likely static flyer. Static
Wait. Hang on, Kevin. Stop the music, and then start the music right now. Go. Start. This just in. I'm hearing we have breaking news from Cameron County in Texas. That's right. We have breaking news from Starbase. Let's go to Adrian now for the details. Adrian.
It's 6 to 6 closures next week for static fire. I think, because they did a spin prime. I mean, they could do a pre-burner. Who knows at this point? I thought they would go straight to a static fire, and then they did a spin prime, so they could do a pre-burner. But yeah, this could be most likely from July 15, 16, and 17. It looks like we are getting static fire attempts of booster 12. And this is, of course, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
All right, well, stay tuned for more. Thank you so much, Adrian. And now to EJ for the weather.
It's raining sideways!
I thought you were going to do the Bill Hicks quote where, like, today, young man on acid learned that everything's a slow vibration. That's a classic one. But no, you didn't do that one. You did something else. That's fine. That's fine. Rest in peace, Bill Hicks, also. Yeah, Starship, am I right? I guess we'll be waking up early next week. Breaking news and all that.
Breaking news.
What haven't we talked about yet? The booster 15's methane section is outside of Mega Bay 1. Yay! The work on Star Factory continues. Like, I don't know. Like, what have we? What have we missed?
I think we're kind of through. Let's ask some questions from chat. I think
Yeah,
also some person here needs to go because they're running out of data and battery and
Oh,
everything.
I'm Alex. I have AirPods in to make this stream work in some sort of Rube Goldberg fashion because I'm traveling and don't have my usual setup, so I have to leave early.
It's Apple's fault because
7
this thing
o'clock.
just
You're muted.
runs out of
Take it
battery,
easy.
which is
You're
really,
muted.
really. No, I'm muted
I'm
for
not.
you.
No,
but
Alex
they
is
can hear
muted.
me because I am not muted on
Oh.
vMix.
I feel like we cannot hear him
everybody.
anymore.
I have to drop
but-
out.
He's doing it on purpose. All right, well, bye,
Anyways.
Alex.
Bye, Alex.
Bye.
Meanie. What a big meanie.
Stop calling me names, chat. No, I see the camera focus. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's our second strike
All right,
with 3
we only have one more. All right, let's do some questions. Join the Noob is asking, how did SpaceX suddenly get so many hot dog tanks after they built the vertical ones because they couldn't get enough hot dog tanks at first? I think the answer to that is
They ordered them.
sorry, something in my throat. The answer to that is
You okay?
you can get horizontal tanks. It's just they're in high demand, so there's a lead time. So at a certain point, they probably built the vertical ones. Were like, oh crap, these vertical ones suck for whatever reason, and then started the process to procure a whole bunch of the horizontal ones. So yeah, I don't think it was necessarily suddenly. To us, it's suddenly because we don't have insight into this whole process. But that would be my completely speculative answer. Is they have had time to line up the. Alex, what are you doing? What are you? I thought you left. We still can't hear you. I know they can, but we can't. All right. So yeah, that's my answer. Does anyone have an additional answer for Join the Noob as to how the heck they got so many horizontal tanks so quickly?
SpaceX has people that work in acquisitions, and they're grabbing off the shelf stuff as much as they can. They probably just went around the country and said, "Hey, you guys got any spare methane tanks?" I mean, they do that. I mean, like, okay, here's how I look at this. They were able to, so whoever works in that acquisitions department for SpaceX was clearly able to acquire 2 freaking oil rigs back in the day. So they could just be like, yo, hey, you guys got an extra oil rig lying around? I'm pretty sure they could go, if the person is that persistent to go buy a freaking oil rig, I'm pretty sure they could go buy those tanks, right? It's just going to take some time to go and find them.
Right. Yeah. Good question, though, from Join the Noob. James Myerscough is asking, will the new orbital launch mount for Tower 2 be more resilient, or will it have to be repaired after every single launch like the current one? Well, I tell you, it better be. I mean, you would think and hope that the lessons learned from the first pad translate into a better second pad. I don't know. Adrian, you're nodding. What do you think?
So we have so far seen very much indication and stuff on that the tower changed. We have seen comments that there will be a new way to dispose the thrust with, of course, a proper flame trench system. Apparently,
hey, he said the thing. He said the thing. Yay!
I said the title drop. So I would be very surprised if they didn't learn anything from the OLM. So will it be more durable, more resilient? We'll have some upgrades. Yes. Like,
yeah, I think almost certainly.
It's such an early prototype, if you think about the whole process here, that there's no way that SpaceX hasn't learned like a ton from 4 flight tests now, and will have like significant changes to the launch.
Let's do a little thought experiment real quick. All right, chat. Thought experiment time. Close your eyes.
I don't like thinking.
Yeah, you know, just come on, trust me. I know it's hard. I know brains not one make think. Close your eyes and think about Starship Mark 1. Remember Mark 1? Huh? Remember how crappy it looked? Especially in retrospect, as we have the really nice, beautiful starships now. All right, your eyes are still closed. You're thinking about Mark 1. Now, think about Pad A in Starbase. Pad A is the Starship Mark 1 of Starship launch pads. Any subsequent pad they built or build is going to look much better because they're going to use what they learned from building the first one. In the same way that all subsequent starships look better and better and better compared to Starship Mark 1. So I think it's really important to sort of drive that home in your head. Pad A in Starbase is not its final form. It's not even over 9,000 yet. Right, EJ?
What does the scouter say about his power level?
It's over 9,000.
What, 9,000? Was that funny?
I can't.
Yes.
It was Adrian. I didn't expect Adrian to chime in so perfectly. But yeah,
So-
that's my thoughts about that.
So,
EJ, you
Jack,
have
what
anything to
what
add?
does your perfect cell starship look like? Or your Super Saiyan starship? What does that look like?
Oh, buddy. Perfect Cell Starship would be which was the one that was carbon fiber and looked like a giant space whale and was like 12 meters in diameter? Was that MCT? Or was that ITS?
I think it was ITS.
I think my Perfect Cell Starship is ITS.
I liked late stage BFR. 3 fins, carbon fiber.
Ew, 3 fins. Wait, no, fins, not grid fins. You're talking about the one that looked like the Planet Express ship.
Yeah, like the fins at the bottom of the ship.
Dare I
and
say
like
flags? Because they were flat fins and legs. They were flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was for me. That was peak.
EJ, you want to answer your own question?
Long starship.
No, like version 3. It looks so bad. It's so
It's the most
ugly.
powerful one for me.
Why?
EJ, why you're joining the dark side here?
Why do you want to hurt us?
I just said it was the most powerful, all right?
Yeah, you're right. That's fair. Let's run some support real quick, and then let's do some more questions.
Wait. Ship 26 is the trunks of starships, okay? Get out of here.
Don't besmirch Trunks' good name. Come on now. And once again, like 95% of chat has no idea what we're talking about.
It's the best
The amount of pop culture knowledge you need to get the full subtext of this show is at this point insane.
Hey, we're helping people. We're flying our nerd flags high. It's okay. Booster 1058, thank you for the support. They say not just that Jack is back, but he's orange. I'm orange. Mabel Jeffers, thank you for the support. Bloodhound09, thank you. They say, I'm sorry, Alex, I failed you by giving Adrian credit for your spreadsheets. Steve Kalavik, what's up, Steve? Saying great to Jack back with my favorite team. That's what he wrote. I don't. But seriously, thanks for the 20. That's awesome. 42 Spacebar, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thanks for that. Moldy Space Industries. I love you, Moldy. We have a matching thing. Moldy and I have a matching thing. We won't say more than that. They say happy birthday, EJ.
Thank you.
Musical Wolves, thank you for the support. They say, can Jack make a cake that includes bacon? Ugh. Even I think that doesn't sound good. And a cake in the shape of a starship. Happy birthday, Starbase Live. Oh, I see what you're saying. It is Starbase Live's birthday, so maybe we need to make a cake for it. I was joking earlier on the Spin Prime stream that I should like go rub cake on all the camera lenses. Like SBL viewers would love that, right?
Also my anniversary of NSF because I joined the day SBL joined.
Nice. Well, happy 3 years, Adrian.
Thank you.
It's been a delight. It's been wonderful.
It's been great.
when we say it with that much enthusiasm, people might think we're not being sincere, but it's been fantastic.
Amazing.
Stefan Batiste, thank you for the support. They say, why not stack new tower and test catch? With that one would save tank farm in case of failure. Because they want to test catch well before the second tower will even be close to complete. I think is a big part of it. Rankley with a $5 super. Thank you, Rankley. They say, I feel like I'm in the past watching a Spin Prime with a tower being built and no vertical tanks. What is this, 2021? Happy birthday, Starbase Live. Thank you so much, Rankley. There's a lot of 2021 vibes, like the stacking of tower modules, the lack of the vertical tanks. I'm I'm loving it. Honestly, it feels really nice to have some serious changes coming to Starbase. Oh yay! It's a cake. It doesn't. I feel like it should have like a picture of Chris Bergen's face on the side, maybe with like a shuttle on one side and a horse on the other, and then it should say like SBL. I don't know. Somebody Photoshop it.
It's my birthday. I get to choose what's on the cake.
Oh, okay. EJ, what's your favorite kind of cake?
Oh.
Like, what's your go-to? Like, it's your birthday. What kind of cake are you asking for? Like a lemon cake, a chocolate cake? What do you? Don't say carrot cake. I want to be your friend.
No, carrot cake's good, but no. Look, my birthday's right after the 4th of July. America. So strawberry shortcake, dude.
All right. Heck yeah.
Strawberry shortcake with a nice dollop of Cool Whip.
Oh yeah, good old Cool Whip. Adrian, what's your go-to cake? This is just the cake trench at this point.
That's a good. Can I also go for? Well, I need. Probably like something like with raspberries, like
what?
Some sort of. I like raspberries.
What are you guys are going with the fruit cakes? Just give me a chocolate cake like God intended.
No.
Some chocolate filling, chocolate icing, chocolate flakes, chocolate chips, chocolate chunks. This is just a good old-fashioned American. What?
Pie.
That's not a cake.
Some apple pie.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, wait, hear me out. Is cheesecake a cake or a pie?
No one cares.
Okay. 42 Spacebar, thank you for the $2 super chat. They say you referenced bacon and meated in one stream. Hats off, gentlemen. Congrats. We did it! 42 Spacebar again says, best Flame Trench episode ever. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. It's same flame time, same flame channel. Thank you so much, 42 Spacebar. Newtopia Labs gifting 5 red team memberships, and Matthias Branson gifting a red team membership as well.
Guys, I think everybody, like Jack, okay, the truth of the matter is here, like, you can say cake, you can say pie, you say shortcake, you say fruitcake, whatever. I think you're all missing the point that you get to eat dessert, okay? That's what I mean.
Unless you're Falcon 9, in which case you're grounded and you don't get dessert.
But there was icing on the cake, man.
Nice. Good work. Good work, NSF team.
I try.
Both Ariane 6 and Falcon 9 go to bed without dessert today.
That's true. Well, we're not mad. We're just disappointed. Well, you might be a little bit mad, Adrian, but yeah. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching this week's Flame Trench. That was a hoot. Thank you so much to our launch directors and flight engineers and all of our members, without whom we could not do one iota of what we do here at NSF. I don't even know what an iota is, but it sounds smart and cool, and I want to sound smart and cool, so I said iota. But seriously, thank you, launch directors and flight engineers.
It's a Greek character, man.
It's really an outstanding amount of support, and in recognition of that support, there's your names there. Thank you so much. That was
Jack. You really don't know iota is a Greek character? No?
I did not. I didn't know that.
Oh.
I'm a failure. I'm sorry.
Huh.
Well, that certainly was an episode of all time.
Yeah.
I hope you all found some information. Like, there's always information and chaos, and I hope you found the right balance here for you all.
I mean, this week we had the Chaos Crew plus EJ. So, also, I don't know if you noticed, I drank a Red Bull on stream, which I usually don't do. So, if I feel a little bit much, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. But yeah.
I drank a liter of water.
How many pounds is that, though?
EJ,
350?
I think it's... I think he's lost.
All right. Thanks to Alex for being on. He's now just a black square, but we love him anyways. You can see Alex's info pop up, maybe, if Kevin does that part with the popping up thing. You can find Alex on socials on his little info card if it pops up, because we have socials. There you go, AlexPhysics13 on the socials. Or if you don't want to follow any one single person, you can follow NASA Spaceflight on Twitter, or NASA Spaceflight IG on Instagram, or Threads, or whatever social network you're into. So yeah, there's that. Be sure to check out our socials. A whole bunch of cool stuff going up there. Speaking of cool stuff, EJ, thank you for being on. You stream on Twitch. If you're not watching EJ on Twitch on a regular basis, you're not my friend.
Yeah, all my homies like EJ.
Right? Thanks for being on, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's always a privilege coming in here. I like to have fun, but we also, like to get some good information out there. So that's what we try to do, and it's a privilege being on here. Thank you.
Heck yeah! You can see EJ's info there in the top right. You can see his Twitch. Go sub to his Twitch. Follow the Twitch. What is even the verb there? Like, go Twitch the. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Go hit the follow button or something.
Yeah, follow button. There you go. And of course, I'm me. Hi, I'm Jack. My info will presumably pop up. I didn't do Adrian. Adrian is also exists.
Hello.
How could you forget my boy?
There's your info. BC Car Counters. Talk about joining NSF 3 years ago. That's a retro Twitter handle if I ever saw one.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought, again, I loved the first part being like very, very serious, and like we had good discussions, and then
I
also
drank
having
a
some
Red
fun.
Bull.
And then you drank a Red Bull, and all hell broke loose. Yeah. So yeah, I like this. This was fun. I hope viewers enjoyed it as much as we do.
Good deal. Also, operating the stream this week was Kevin Michael Reed, the very best Kevin Michael Reed, the one and only. So thank you, Kevin, for running in a giant human-sized hamster wheel that makes things go, that is powered by love from our Bembis or something. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. And Jay also operating the stream along with Kevin. And am I forgetting anybody? I don't think I'm forgetting anybody.
You forgetting chat?
There's
Say
everybody's
thank you to
socials.
chat.
Follow everybody on the socials, or don't.
What about
Follow
chat?
NASA Spaceflight. Dude, just do the things. Do all the things.
Thank you, chat.
Hit the subscribe.
Thanks for
Hit the-
all questions and that stuff from the chat and everything.
Hit
Always
the-
helps when we don't have to when we get external input, because then we have to put less internal input.
Wait.
And you know how that goes.
Wait, does Leica have an info card? Hang on, I'm gonna get Leica. She has an info card.
How
Is he
mean would
gone?
it be? Yeah, the dog. That there's the info card. Hey EJ, how you doing?
Gut und der?
Very good.
Ja, so gut. Ja.
Who's your dog? Who's your dog? Who's a crazy dog? Who's a crazy dog? Yes. Oh god. End the show.
Nice.
End the show.
And the show.
Hey, Jack, do the dishes, man. What are you? The kitchen is dirty. What are you doing? Don't crank the music up over me. This is ridiculous.
And here we go.
We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roger, planet.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange!
Oh my god!
Decollage. Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If the methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You read? We don't need any more of these.
We're playing tug of war.
Dude.
I got it, you stupid dog. Go get it.
So that was show.
That was the show.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that. That went like that. The last hour was just fun.
You know, once you get into the groove, once the Red Bull is flowing, all bets are off. Is there things that I need to do right now? Like, do I need to be rushing to Starbase for any reason? I haven't been paying close attention.
All right,
Not
hold on 1 second. If you Membies and Twitch chat, this is the after show. So this is the after show. So this is
Yeah. Now we are in the post show. Oh my god.
Post show. This is the
really,
after party.
She's really
This is the
pulling
mixer
on this thing.
Yeah, we are. This is the like. But to be, I didn't show this, but this water bottle, I actually bought this, and this is great because you not only have the option to drink out of this, where it's just a normal hole, you also have the option to use a straw. So,
oh, look at you go!
Yeah.
Hey, Adrian, you gonna get me a liter of cola?
Can I get a liter of cola? It's for a cup.
I only have water in this. Also, you can grab it like this and wear it like this, or you can use the handy handle and wear it like this.
Yeah, but is yours vacuum insulated, my friend?
Oh, it's
and
not.
Orange?
It's not. It's inferior. The European mind cannot comprehend.
You know, in the U.S., we do liters for Pepsi or Coke, right? You get like a 2-liter bottle, so it's not that weird.
So why can't you understand how much 2 liter is, Jack? Then?
Oh,
Jack
I can't. I
is
just
being
choose
Jack.
not to.
Exactly.
It's more fun if I pretend I'm stupid.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Pretend.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
you're pretending?
Yes. Yeah. It's a lot easier.
I'm always
easier
pretending.
Than acknowledging difficult situations. If you just pretend you're stupid, then people think, "Oh, he's just stupid."
I'm always pretending I'm smart, so people don't notice I'm stupid.
Yeah, I'm doing the opposite. I'm pretending I'm stupid, so people don't notice I'm smart.
So we are meeting in the middle.
Yes, which is why we're friends.
I'm stepping
I
away
also
for
got
1
a
minute.
giant.
Okay, I'm gonna go look at launch pads. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hi,
That's a flex.
I also got a giant water bottle recently. I don't know how many liters it is. It's definitely more than one. But yeah, the joys of having a giant water bottle. You never feel like you have to conserve the amount of water you have. You're like, I'm just going to drink up as much water as I want. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I bought this so I can place this on my desk in the morning and be fine for the rest of the day in terms of water. This is like, here's your water.
Yeah, I mean, most people, they say, anyways, I don't know who they even is, but they say most people go throughout their day slightly dehydrated because they just don't drink enough water. So, good job, Adrian.
Yeah, hashtag stay hydrated.
Hashtag
Always stay hydrated.
Friends don't let friends dehydrate. So post show, am I right?
Yeah.
What do we want to post show about?
Dude, we need to do an off the rails flame trench where I talk about trains.
Train trench?
Yeah. Train subway station.
AJ, I've not paid attention to the Twitch this week. What's gaming right now? What are you doing?
Oh, I played a lot of different games, dude. We played Workers and Resources the most. I actually went back and played Kerbal. I played Fallout. Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Pretty good time. Oh no, Membies, not the MBTA. I actually want to watch trains that work. Yeah.
I started. I finished Cyberpunk, and I'm now. I'm finally getting through Elden Ring.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Ever played Anno? I've played Anno. Anno is like
I have
fentanyl. You don't want that. It's just going to consume your life.
Yeah,
Bad idea.
That's why I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 because I know. It's
for sure.
Good point.
It's just going to eat my life.
There's very high numbers next to my Anno games in my Steam, and I'm not able to acknowledge what I could have done in my life instead of playing Anno. And I'm also very happy that Anno 1503, when I was a child, does not have tracking of how much I played it.
Yeah.
Like these are the moments where I'm like glad.
Did you play Anno 2070?
I played every single Anno.
Yeah, Anno is
It's
That
I don't
my
game's-
even know
favorite.
what
that
it
game's-
is. What
It's
game's
my
kind of game
trouble.
is
favorite.
it?
It's a kind of
Grand
like
strategy.
hard. Yeah, it's like grand strategy meets city building meets almost automation sometimes, depending on the game. It's kind of like a really cool automation focused city builder. Like that's how I play it,
Yeah.
at least.
It's like playing Factorio, City Skylines, or SimCity,
Okay.
and like Hearts of Iron all rolled into one.
Yeah, it's kind of like Anno 18.
Oh
love
yeah,
how-
man.
I love how Anno 1800 completely escalates with engineers because you're playing through the first three tiers of civilization. You're like, it's nice. I'm having a good time in building, and then you get like access to electricity. And the first thing, if you didn't plan for that in your first playthrough, you're like, okay, how to destroy my whole city because I just fucked this up.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Adrian, you should play Workers and Resources. Workers and Resources is the best city builder on the market right now, and it's not even close.
Yeah, Workers.
No. Don't worry about that game no more. Play Workers and Resources. Crank all the difficulty settings to maximum, and it will ruin every other city builder for you permanently. It's like permanently.
Did you see that they apparently go for non square grid for the next Anno? Apparently it's hexagonal.
Nice.
So we'll see.
I mean, hexagons are the bestagons.
I like the way that Manor Lords did zoning.
Oh yes, Manor Lord
Lords has the
zoning
best.
is chef's kiss.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the best way by a long shot.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I'm
They
by the
talked
way
about the
looking
rocket
at
the
the
other night.
Steam
Yeah.
page of Workers and Resources right now. Thank you.
Yeah, worker.
Nice.
So okay, Adrian, think about this. You want this to scratch the Anno itch? All right. So you want to pave a road?
I don't think
right?
you should scratch it. You should probably just put ointment on it.
Yeah, we could do that too. Yeah. So you want to build a road in this game. You want to build a paved road. Okay. So you place down where you want a paved road. You have to have a construction crew go to this road. They have to deliver the asphalt. They have to deliver the gravel before that, grade the thing, right? And you need a bulldozer to go and grade it, right? And then you need to deliver the asphalt, and then you need a paver, and then you need a roller, and if there's street lights, you need a crane and workers to put up the street lights, right? But you need cranes to do it. You procure every single construction vehicle. You buy it, and you have the construction teams, right? Because it's your own centralized economy. So there's no private construction. You control all the construction. So you want to build a road, that's what you got to do. You want to build power lines, guess what? Where are you getting the steel from? Where are you getting the wires from? Where are you getting the electrical components, right? You want to build a factory? There's conveyor belts, and you have to conveyor belt stuff around, right? You have to build out all this stuff, and all this stuff has to be constructed somehow. So you like I said, road building in Workers puts every other city builder to absolute shame. That game is horribly addicting. I probably shouldn't have said anything about it.
So you basically just ruined my life.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, he improved it. He improved it.
Yeah, it's Workers and Resources Soviet Republic.
Yes, sir. It is a centralized economic city builder, and it is the gnarliest city builder of all time. It's difficult. You can fail. Like if your sewage backs up, everyone dies of dysentery, Oregon Trail style. It is a hard game to play.
Did you guys name your Oregon Trail characters ridiculous things? I would always name them like poop and ass and stuff like that. And it would be like, ass died of dysentery. And it'd be like, oh, ass died of dysentery. It's so funny. Oh, to be a kid again.
That reminds me of the time where I was like, I figured out how to use the text-to-speech accessibility in Microsoft and made Microsoft Sam say all this stupid stuff.
One of the hardest times I've ever laughed in my entire life was getting a computer in the school library in middle school to say the most unhinged things we could think to type in it. And in the middle of the unhinged diatribe we were having the computer scream was just an errant left square bracket. And so the computer is just like spouting all this horrible stuff.
Right square
and it just
bracket.
goes, like blah, 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 left square bracket, and then goes right back to being unhinged. And I lost it. That's like to this day, 20, 30 years later, some of the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. Good old left square bracket.
Left square bracket, right square bracket, left square bracket, right
I'm
square
just,
bracket.
I'm just catching up on the latest runs of Summer Games Done Quick because I've missed some, and I'm just watching some good old speedruns.
Nice.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, so I've been like super addicted to this book series. It's called Expeditionary Force. It's so good. There's 16 of them, and each one is like, I don't know, 17 hours long. And I'm on book 13. So over the last, 2 months where I've been powering through all these, I haven't watched much YouTube. I haven't listened to any of my normal podcasts. And so I'm like so far behind. And then every now and then I'll log into YouTube and be like, oh, look at all these things I have to watch. It's really great. It feels good.
Dopamine hit.
Yeah, that feels good.
I actually have started. I actually have started to speedrun again in my free time. That's my GameCube controller is here. I have like my whole GameCube set up here. So I learned like some. It's more like casual speedrunning. It's more like glitch exhibition, but it's so fun. I'm playing. I speedrun The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker in the past.
Good man.
Can I admit something to my friends without fear of judgment?
What?
You didn't.
Yeah, sure,
you didn't say
played
yes.
Legends of
Can
Zelda.
I admit something to my friends without fear of judgment?
I fear you're gonna say you never played a Zelda game.
I've never played a Zelda game.
I mean, see, I'm turning it around, Jack. The good thing is you have tons of amazing games that you haven't played yet.
I love you.
That you could play now.
I love you, Adrian. The only one I ever played was the original gold cartridge for the original Nintendo. And by played, I mean I messed around with it when I was way too young to actually play it. Can you not? Yeah. So that's the.
Chad,
that's
I
the
can
only one
empathize with this moment going on right here with the dog.
We
rescued a dog 3 weeks ago.
We did.
That's why.
You also rescued a dog?
I did. Yeah, I rescued a dog. Yes.
Aww.
He's a good boy. He's not here right now. Yeah. Yeah. His name's Titan.
Aw, nice.
Yep.
Oh no! Don't eat the microphone.
The buddy.
Like the graphics card.
Yeah. Or the missile.
So she needs a brush. I don't know if you can see all this fur, but
don't eat the
microphone. Who's your dog? Who's your dog? Who's your crazy dog?
Alvaro.
Who's your crazy dog? Who's your crazy dog? Who's your crazy dog?
I will wait to answer until Jack is done.
Okay, I'm done.
I thought about pet merch in the past, but apparently it's really hard to get like a good like chain retailer with Shopify integration. Like I looked at it, and there's either the usually stuff, the good stuff is not Shopify properly integrated.
Dang.
I wish.
My chat's asking me if I've ever played Satisfactory. I have probably 3,000 to 4,000 hours in Satisfactory Human.
It's so addicting.
I'm gonna play the snot out of that when 1.0 comes out. My September is basically all booked up.
I really need to start playing Civ again with Jack. We started a Civ round at some point.
Yes. At some point too, once we finish that game or maybe a couple games, Adrian, we should do a Civ game with 12 players with people from members and whoever we can get. Imagine a Civilization game with you, me, EJ if you play Civ, Sean I know plays Civ. We could get Scott Manley in there if he does, Joe if he does, Tim.
Screw that. Let's play Counter-Strike.
Imagine oh my god, can you imagine when Team Space LAN party needs to happen.
Oh, we should do that. Yeah, we should do that. Yeah, I actually like this idea a lot. We'll play Counter-Strike.
God,
I would probably fly over the Atlantic for this.
Nice.
dude.
Yeah.
Like a proper we need to make it. To be fair, we need to make it more than just one night. Like I think we
Yes.
should go
Because
crazy on this.
if you've ever done a LAN party, you know the first night, the 80% of it is just spent troubleshooting and getting everything to work together. And then by
sharing
the time,
USB sticks so everybody has the right version of everything.
And then by the time you're done getting it all set up, it's like 4 a.m. and nobody even cares about playing anymore. So you just eat pizza and watch a movie and fall asleep. So then the second night is when the actual gaming occurs.
We should do this like going up to a Starship flight.
That would
like
be amazing.
The NSF Starship Flight 7 LAN party. And you know
that's
what we got to do?
On how to improve the long overnight stretches where it's just dark and nothing's happening, but we're waiting for the items on the checklist to be ticked off, like road closed and stuff like that. All right, for the next 2 hours, we're going to be playing this. Also, there's a Starship going to launch. Maybe in a couple launches when things are more routine.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And you know what we got to do? You know how you really pitch this idea? We go to Das and say, "Hey Das, how do we make a piece of equipment that can capture like 20 computers all at once?"
And then
he'll be like, "Play the stream setup."
He's like, "I've actually already thought of this problem. The exact answer is X, Y, Z."
He'd have all the gears.
Yeah.
The gears would start turning. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's easy. We can do it."
He already built it. He already built it. He's like coming out of his garage and like, "Here, I got this."
Yeah.
Yep, dude. When I met up with him when I was driving home from a road trip a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And dude, he was cooking some stuff up. It was nuts. I'm like, how do you have time for all this? All right, that's cool. I can't say what it was though.
He's a wizard. And anytime I have what I think is a comically outlandish idea, and I mention it to him as a joke, every time without fail, his answer is like, "Oh yeah, I tested that with this and it works great," or "It doesn't work," or "It would work because of this." He's always got a realistic answer to my insane half joking ideas. It's amazing.
That's what we got to do. We have to. This has to be an insane idea. And he'll yeah, I can do that.
I'm in. I will.
I bet you, depending on his availability, Das would be 100% into the LAN. He would be.
Oh yeah.
He would be
he'd be playing. Dude, he will axe you in World of Tanks. He's a disgustingly good World of Tanks player.
Oh man,
disgusting.
I'm so. I would
this.
Be.
I want this to happen.
Dude. I want this more than any Christmas present I've ever asked for.
He will destroy you. He will it could be all of us versus him, and he'll probably win.
That would be amazing.
Is he that good?
Oh, he's ask him. Disgusting World of Tanks player. I played World of Warships with him back in the day. Dude.
I love that you don't even say good. You say disgusting in the way that you played against him and you hate it.
Dude, it's disgusting. I played World of Warships with him probably about 10 years ago when the game came out, and yeah, he was like, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Go here, 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 here," and I'm like, "Okay." And we had a bunch of Atlantas, Atlanta light cruisers, which are just a ship that's just bristling with 5-inch turrets, right? And we were taking down battleships. It was me and him and one other guy, and we used these crappy light cruisers and killed players that were 5 tiers above us. It was amazing. Funny, man.
Sounds like he kicks ass in strategy.
The old cheese method. Yeah. Nothing wrong with a little cheese.
Oh, dude, we got called out. I got a bunch of hate DMs from people that we'd sank. They're like, "You guys suck, you cheesy pieces of crap," and other stuff was said because it was 10 years ago. It was pretty.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the Atlanta Ballet Company. Ask him about that. Ask him about the Atlanta Ballet Company. You'll start laughing. I guarantee you.
Good deal. I wish he was on right now so we could ask him. Next stream.
Now I want to play Counter-Strike. Crap.
Yeah, sure. I mean, what could we also play on a LAN?
Well,
Age of Empires.
Counter-Strike. Age of Empires would be sick. Yeah. We could do
Halo. Old Halo.
Yeah, Halo 1.
Yeah.
Or we could do one of my very favorites is Unreal Tournament, but you do it with in a low gravity and rocket launchers only. So everyone's just flying around with rocket launchers in low gravity. It's amazing. You have to lead super far to be able to hit somebody, but when you do, sniping with a rocket launcher, it's one of life's true pleasures.
Airborce just linked me a Twitch clip. Hold on, viewer in my chat.
Uh-oh. I got
Hold
it.
on.
I'm so curious. Also, does my mic sound fine? Because I think Leica did actually get a couple good bites in.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Yeah. See. Okay. Twitch chat, in that clip, he's like, "Oh, is this a T-34?" Das, you know exactly what tank that is. Stop. Come on.
That's a classic DOS method, is pretend you don't know something, or pretend it's not working, but in actuality, you know full well that it is working. You're just trying to get
I want this clip
what
now,
that is.
EJ. I want this clip. You have to drop it.
Classic DOS. Classic.
Here. Here, I'll put it in the control center chat, dude. It's there. Dude, you know exactly what it is. This is T-34. No, you know exactly what it is. That's a T-34-85. You know exactly what that is. Come on.
That's amazing.
Chat says play GoldenEye. I'll have to bring my N64.
Oh, I always sucked at GoldenEye. I was like a kid,
Oh, yeah,
and
same.
also for whatever reason, my brain in first-person shooters, I need a keyboard and a mouse. I suck at first-person shooters on a controller. My brain is not.
Fair. That's fair.
So is he basically pretending to not know it? Like,
Yeah.
I think he's just being vague. He knows exactly what type of tank that is. It's such a dude. This is T-34. You know, it's T-34-85, and with the long barrel. Of course, you know what that is.
By the way, this will trigger him because he will see that clip and is like, huh? What's going on this channel?
Is that the tank where they it was like the German one with the extra long barrel, and then they tried to go through the woods to get to invade France, but they couldn't turn the damn turrets in the forest because the barrel was so long or something?
That was a Tiger tank.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was a Tiger. I mean,
T-30 whatever was a Russian tank.
T-30. T-34 is a Russian. There were two big variants during World War II, T-34-76 and the T-34-85. Yeah, the German one, here's the thing. Tigers, you said going into France, so that implies early parts of the war. Tiger tanks weren't there. They had Tiger 1s, if I'm remembering right. But there's a Stug, which is, it has a fixed turret, so if you need to turn that around a corner, the turret's gonna. I'm getting into tanks. There's all different kinds of stuff, but long story short, dude, there were some German tanks that had Adrian. I think they had a 8.8. They had the 8.8 on it, which is 8.8 centimeter, which is an insanely good artillery piece, even by today's standards. I don't know, dude. Do you know? I forget.
I have no freaking idea about any tanks.
Really? Oh,
nah,
right.
Not my
Thanks,
thing.
rule. All my homies love tanks.
Yeah.
Also, a game I totally played a lot when it came out, and I will now say it wrong again, but Jake will laugh at me, is PUBG.
PUBG?
PUBG.
Yeah. I for some reason in German, everybody here says PUBG.
Yeah, that works. That's fine.
PUBG?
PUBG.
It's
a
so much
It's a
fun.
bad rapper name.
It's so much fun with
hairy rapper.
It's so much fun with 4 people pre-made and playing it super tactical. I don't like it if just weird skirmishes, but playing it crazy tactical makes so much fun for me.
I do love
Tarkov.
Some PUBG. That whole mechanic is so fun, where it's you're in an environment, gather supplies, don't die.
Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I'm not a fan of battle royales. I like 5v5 comp shooting.
Really?
I like probably the shooter I hope most had the fun is CS:GO.
Yeah, 5v5 old school comp shooting.
Yep.
That is my absolute favorite. Counter-Strike is my pretty much favorite shooter. Yeah,
I grinded doing studies. I grinded Counter-Strike ranks for 2.5 years.
What did you do?
I'm not
what's
in
the highest rank?
She did surgery on the toy and removed the swinger.
Nice. Yeah, that happens.
You can't have this. You can't have it anymore.
I was Legendary Eagle.
Very good. LE, good for you. I made it up to DMG back in the day, but I played I'm gonna date myself here. I played semi-pro Counter-Strike back in the day. Counter-Strike Source.
Yeah, I played
yeah.
Source. Heck yeah.
Yeah, but
I
did you play
also played Source.
in Cal or CPL, Jack? Yeah,
What?
I played it. I played semi-pro. I was like the people that are like scrimmaging for money and stuff.
Holy shit, that's amazing. I was never that good.
Back in the day, yeah.
The funny thing is,
We
with
almost
shooters-
made it to CPL, dude. We almost made it to like the pro circuit, but yeah,
Dang.
didn't happen.
The crazy thing with CSGO for me was I was endlessly stuck in silver for like half a year and like never got past like silver elite master. And then for some reason, I basically had 3 months where I went from silver elite master to master guardian 1, like
Nice.
straight up. It's so weird how that works. Like sometimes you're just stuck forever and then you just go through.
Oh, now I'm
Oh, you know what would be a good LAN party game? StarCraft.
I'll play StarCraft. Yeah.
That would. I feel like DOS
You
would
want
be
a
OP
piece of
at
me,
StarCraft.
boy.
He'd probably be the guy doing a Zerg rush, but
Who?
DOS.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
StarCraft would be amazing.
I'm not really good at StarCraft, but I play quite a lot of Age of Empires, so maybe that's like the RTS skills are probably at least decently transmittable.
I mean, StarCraft is perfect. It's got star in the name. The dropship
craft.
pilots say in the 5x5, so we got that going
In the
for us. Yeah.
Can I take your order?
I'm trying to remember the other things the SCVs would say.
SCV, good to go, sir. Yeah. Orders, Captain.
Nice.
Coordinates received.
I know the tanks would say proceeding, and for a long
Identify
time
target.
you're too good at it.
Played too much, man.
For a long time when I was a kid, I always thought they were saying rose eating. I was like, why do they say rose eating? And my brother looked at me like I was
Rose eating.
stupid. He's like, he's saying proceeding. It's like, oh, I'm an idiot.
Delighted to, sir.
I also played a lot of Warcraft 3.
I did not really get. I had it. I played
Which
it.
game?
I didn't get sucked into it. And at least not like I did Warcraft 1 and 2.
I was playing Warcraft 3 and actually after World of Warcraft, because I got into World of Warcraft when I was 8.
Oh God.
Jesus.
No.
Yeah, I'm playing World of Warcraft now since almost 20 years.
Wow.
I played
I-
beta.
Thankfully, I missed World of Warcraft, but only because I played EverQuest before it came out and like burned myself out on the MMORPG thing in EverQuest. And then by the
Played Star Wars Galaxies.
at least you didn't play Anarchy Online. Remember,
Ayo,
played-
that? Remember that?
AO.
I
Bad,
played
hard pass.
I played World of Warcraft. Well, I still play World of Warcraft. And I played everybody's backup MMO, which was Meeting 2. Because every time when the server of any game was down, everybody was like, "Yeah, let's go over to Meeting 2."
All right. Well, I think it's about time for me to step away. Thank you for watching.
Baby, come Jack. What?
Thank you for watching Post Show, Membies. I gotta go walk this dog so she doesn't eat my hand. But yeah, feel free to hang out. Keep hanging out. I'm gonna bail.
Oh, dude, I want to play.
Bye.
Counter-Strike now. Bye. See you, man.
But yeah, it was fun. I like my World of Warcraft, but I know it's not for everybody.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah, but there's bushes.
How Kevin got arrested at the Cape. Let's go.
Yeah, not doing that.
Bro, it's Florida. Ain't nobody gonna care you go piss in the bush. Is that a Hoppy t-shirt? Yeah, man.
No,
Excuse
no,
me,
Kevin
one
did not get arrested. Sorry, I was muted to you members. No, Kevin did not get arrested at KSC, but Kevin will get arrested because he has to pee, and there is no restroom at KSC after hours.
Go back into just go into OSB1. It's right behind you.
I don't have diapers, Jack. I don't have diapers.
All right, Kevin, for
Yeah,
real.
it's time.
Just get your press pass out. Go look behind you. There's a building. It's called OSB1 or OSB2. Excuse me. It's the building with the balcony on top. Just go in there. There's a bathroom in there. Kevin, did you copy my last?
We're not supposed to go in that building.
Oh. All right. Well, have fun holding it then.
He's just like, I offered you solution. You didn't take it. Well, it's on you.
I wonder if the cafeteria
You're gonna go into VAB?
too. I can't even go to the
There's a
cafeteria.
bathroom. There's a bathroom and a rocket engine in the lobby. Oh, all right. Have fun holding it then.
I will also soon bail because I am getting up early in the morning to drive to a neighbor town.
Let's see. Let's put Adrian there, and then do that. Oh look.
Hello.
Who do I got tomorrow? Spain or England? Soccer. Yeah, Rev, that's what I'm saying. Can't see people walking into OSB2 being an issue. European football.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
Football.
Ooh.
Yeah. Is the cardboard aided design done? No, yeah. Keep thinking that. All right, that's
that
fair.
doesn't give. Okay, I'm going to arguing it. Winning a tournament does not give you absolution to over the sport.
Hey, wait a minute, Alien. What's the game where you touch the ball with your foot? In American football, you kick the ball. I'm just saying, you kick it. There are plays that are designed to just kick the ball.
That's true.
Cardboard.
I just think there's a proportion of the game that is played not with the foot. A huge amount. We had more possession than you, but you paid the referee.
Jeez. Here we go. Fight. No, that's hand.
I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm also gonna bail. I think it's time, and I'm tired.
All right, Adrian. Auf Wiedersehen, mein Freund.
I'll always love to like. Okay, I know we talked about this before, but like, how on a scale like of 1 to 10, how good is your German? Like, would you be able to like fully like go around in Germany?
I could get around, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I could get around. If somebody entered into a conversation with me that was anything more than hello, how are you? Please, thank you. I need to go here. I'd be like, all right. Yeah. English, please. Español? Mi español es bueno. It's not bad. It's okay. I could get around in Spain. I know I could. I speak more Spanish than I do German.
Oh yeah, I think we already committed to an NSF field trip of the whole company to that eclipse.
Oh dear. Chat's, my chat's asking me how's my Russian. Хорошо. Photoshop. Okay. Нет. Это не хорошо, Алекс. No bueno, Alex. Okay, yeah, fair.
Okay, I'm running now. Good night, everybody.
All right. Cheers. ¿Comida? Y sí, tengo hambre. Por favor. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. How you like Florida? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah, Guys, Alex, because they can't hear you, dude. I'm just telling them real quick. Alex is telling about how in Florida it goes from stupid hot outside to like stupid cold inside. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you in? You don't need to say like specifically, Alex. You're in Titusville, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. I got you, dude. Oh yeah, that's right. You don't have a car. I was gonna say go to Dogs R Us. That place is legit. Yeah. You can call one of my boys to come pick you up if you want. Oh yeah, yeah. Alex is saying, guys, that he was gonna go. He was gonna hang out with some people and go to the Starlink lunch this weekend. Whoops. Yeah, yep, yep. Chats. Yeah, right. It kind of sucks. Chat's wondering that you saw a launch for the first time in person. It was not. It was not the one that failed. That was out of Vandenberg, but the one before that, right? Yeah, they can't hear you. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you want to go check that chat, yeah, yeah. On my end, fellas, I could probably, on the Twitch end, dudes, I could probably switch it over. But it is 8 o'clock. I actually have to kind of get going. Yeah. So, anyway. All right, Alex, members, Twitch chat, I'll be back in a second. But everybody else, I'm going to... Oh, he's not a speaker. No, he just fixed it. Red. Yeah. I don't hear Alex anymore. All right, well, fellas, I actually have to get going. I got to get on the bus and ride the bus for the city. Kind of this program they have to make sure they, turn the wheels right. All right, dudes. Alex, good talking to you, buddy. Everybody, this is the end of the post show. Twitch chat, I'll be back over in a second. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I will talk to you later. Actually, before I go, Kevin, are you back from the bathroom? Or Jay? Anybody around to shut off this terrible excuse for a post show? Thank you, sir. All right, I'm out. Deuces, abracadabra, Holmes. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Twitch chat, I'll be over in a second. Laters.
And here we go.
Hey, I'm back. I am back. Changing up the title. I'll change it back to Space and Rocket Review for now.